Montreal head-to-head Thursday night, live on Nesson at 7:30. BU and Maine, by the way, split their season series, 2 wins, 2 losses each. Conceivable they could meet again in the NCAA, which would be a 5th time. But for now, our attention gets focused on the ECAC Championship. That's the one between St. Lawrence and Clarkson at Boston Garden. They both won their games in the semifinals last night. They were both 1-goal games. One was an overtime and one was not. But let's go back to the Bobs. You guys can go one more, right?
Absolutely. Let's go a couple more rounds. This is going to be a good game, and it's a matchup between 2 teams that are arch rivals and have played a couple of times this year.
They played a couple of times this year. St. Lawrence won on its home rink. Clarkson won on its home rink. St. Lawrence, the winner last night, 4-3 in overtime over Cornell. Nice goal by LaPerriere in overtime to win it.
Well, you get a little help from the Cornell defense, but I'll tell you, the guy that you got to watch on this hockey team, Andy Pritchard, outstanding hockey player out of Oakville, Ontario. He's got 12 power play goals on the season. He really keys their first line. Excellent hockey player. They're not real big, St. Lawrence, but they're very quick, and they really fired last night.
Well, Harvard didn't do much last night, we said. Harvard didn't do much, but probably the reason they didn't was because Clarkson played so well.
Well, on the other side of the ball, Clarkson is a much more physical team, much bigger than is St. Lawrence. Not quite as quick, maybe, but they're built to play in that Clarkson rink, very strong physically, and they just worked that Harvard team right off the puck. Scott Thomas, 2 goals last night out of East Aurora, New York, 24 goals on the season. Second line right wing, but he's a heck of a hockey player.
It's been a storied rivalry. It goes back a number of years. These 2 clubs, of course, located I've seen anywhere between 5 and 11 miles apart, the 2 campuses. They've seen a lot of each other over the years, including a championship game here a couple of years ago.
Well, any of the folks that have been up to the North Country, up by the Seaway, know that they're classic rinks. You know, in addition to classic program, classic rinks, and great tradition over the years. And it's featured tonight as these 2 teams play in the ECAC final.
So we are back with a championship game, the battle for the Whitelaw Cup, where we continue here on your New England Sports Network.
For the man who really loves his golf, nothing will stand in his way when he wants to play. He'll play anywhere. Trouble, however, can be encountered on any golf course. Hazards like heavy rough. Golf Digest magazine can help. Every golfer wants to improve, but the golfer who improves most reads Golf Digest. For him, sand shots are easy. Golf Digest's instructional articles can even see you through the perils of a water hazard. Your favorite course may be less treacherous than this one, but probably no less demanding. Wherever you play, play better with Golf Digest.
Get a full year of Golf Digest for $19.77. Call 800-241-6600 now and get our free half-hour instructional video with your paid subscription. Call 800-241-6600 now.
Hockey Fest 91 is brought to you in part by Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that distinctively clean, crisp taste that makes Budweiser the king of beers. For all that you do, this Bud's for you. And by Gillette and the revolutionary Gillette Sensor Shaving System. Gillette, the best a man can get. And by Mercedes-Benz, engineered like no other car in the world.
Now, welcome back to the Garden, everyone. John Gallagher, the referee tonight, is assigned by the ECAC. He'll be assisted, his 2 linesmen, Brewster Earl and Mark Demers. He's in charge of the game tonight. Les Kuntar back in goal tonight for St. Lawrence.
Well, he's the Iron Man of the league. Les Kuntar out of Nichols School of Buffalo, New York, the senior, 6'2", 195 pounds, his 32nd game. This will tie a record at St. Lawrence, set by Weicker back in the early 80s, son of the governor of Connecticut, as we mentioned. But he had the record, and this ties at 32 appearances in a season by a goaltender. Chris Ruggles in the net for Clarkson. He played last night, 5'11", 165 out of St. Louis, Missouri. 2.98 goals against average, .896 save percentage. Last night, at the beginning of the game, Bob, as you recall, St. Lawrence really fired, pressed Harvard.
Well, we'll see what happens tonight. Is Castleman now for St. Lawrence? Or for Clarkson clearing it in. Conroy overskates it. Now Eric Lacroix. for St. Lawrence. Dangerous cross ice pass that time. Chris Lappin now will play it deep in his own zone.
That was one of late Freddie Sherrill's classic rules of never do's. Never make a cross ice pass in your own end.
Sylvain Lapointe bringing it back out to center. Now Lapointe for Clarkson will clear it in. Lappin will chase it up along the boards. Lappin dumping it back to center. Dorson Ends will break it up there for Clarkson. Brings it back across the St. Lawrence line. And then dump back out to center. Here's a chance now. Picking it up is Andy Pritchard at the goal post. Pritchard rang one off the pipe behind Rogels.
Boy, you're never going to have a more center hit than that on a post. He hit an ultimate post shot right on and out. Oh, straight on.
Huntar stops back behind the goal. Mike McCourt now for St. Lawrence. McCourt will start out for the Saints. Pass to Mike Lappin on the left wing. Bump by Kozak. Back out to center. Covering up and wrapping it ahead, Ted Beatty. Martin Dorson Ends getting it past Lappin. Mark Green handing it there to Mike McCourt. Here's Mike Kozak coming in. Kozak a shot and Huntar makes the save. Ted Beatty trying to clear it out. Mark Green trying to keep it in. Mike Lappin rolls it to center. Now Steve Dubinsky for Clarkson. Gets it across the line. Kozak and Dubinsky back for Kozak again out in front. And Kozak has it go wide on the backhand. Played now by Kozak again from center ice. He'll play it back in. Huntar will stop behind the goal. And Mike McCourt now charging out for St. Lawrence. It's McCourt for the skating Saints. Back out to center, broken up by Guy Sanderson. Sanderson for Dave Tremblay. Now Jeff Torrey out at center ice. Torrey rides it across the line. Here comes Tremblay with a shot. Huntar the shot and pops on the rebound. And digging for it there was Hugo Belanger. Let's take a timeout as tonight's game comes your way from the Boston Garden.
Nothing beats a butt with a friend. Nothing beats what we've got here. Nothing beats clean, crisp, cold. Nothing beats the king of beers. Yeah, nothing beats a bud. Yeah, nothing beats a bud. Nothing beats a Budweiser. Nothing beats a bud.
There's Chris Ruggles, a sophomore out of St. Louis, Missouri, 5'11", 165, and he was helped by the post early on as Andy Pritchard down the left side hits about as straight out of clanger as you're ever going to see. Watch this one. Keep your eye on the right post. Right directly off the post. You couldn't have it hit more square if you went down there and planted it. Right off the pipe.
Face-off, Sanderson tried to feed it through. That was broken up. Michael Elaine tried to get it out. Sanderson broke that up. Dave Tremblay takes a bump there. Play going into the St. Lawrence zone. Chris Lappin now for the Saints. Back out to center. Lee Albert rolling it ahead. Back in front, centering pass back out in front. Belanger was bumped and played back across the line. Here's Michael Elaine, a shot and plucked there out of the air by the goaltender and holds on. Get a face-off coming up in the Clarkson zone. Third meeting for the ECAC Championship way back in '62. St. Lawrence won, and not so way back in '88. St. Lawrence won.
Roderick took a lot of time to get rid of that puck, didn't he? Walked at the point, let the guy get within a couple of feet of him.
Sabo carrying out to center. Sabo will dump it in. Michael Gall now will go back behind the goal. Swings it over now for David Green. Roderick is there. Eddie Dent is digging forward along the boards. Dent kicks it free. Michael Gall bringing it back out to center. Now Gall will clear it across the line. Rogels will stop back behind the goal, steer it along the boards, back out to center ice again. Roderick back at his own line. Off for Dent and now for Michael Gall. We got some penalties called here out in front of the Clarkson bench. As tonight's game comes your way from the Boston Garden.
In trying to make an artistic statement, one should be careful not to let one's personal aroma do the talking. In order not to offend the critics, I recommend Right Guard Sports Stick. It provides maximum protection and the freshest scents, a sublime palette of odoriferous emanations. After all, a true artiste should be remembered for his inspiration, not his perspiration. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Jim Giason's in the penalty box. 6'1", 200-pound sophomore from St. Louis. Draft choice of the LA Kings. But he's going to sit out for 2 minutes, and Clarkson, superb power play, 64 of 175, 36% of the time they score. St. Lawrence on short here, 28 of 115, 23% of the time they're scored on.
Greg Conroy going in, off now for Scott Thomas. Thomas watched by Chris Lappin. Greg Conroy with Castleman trying to plan out in front of the goal. Here's Dave Tredowitz taking a shot, gloved by Kuntar, who will hold on. Now we'll get a faceoff coming up to the right of the St. Lawrence goal. Minute 37 left in Giason's penalty.
St. Lawrence is dangerous in shorthand situations. They have 9 shorthand goals. You see this look of the shot from the outside. Tredowitz gets a bouncer and gets it off on net. Kuntar through some traffic. Now you got to watch out in the shorthand situations like you do in everything else in this St. Lawrence team. Andy Pritchard, 4 shorthanded goals.
Eric Lacroix stopped on the way out. Scott Thomas handing off now for Craig Conroy. Craig Carville sends it all the way down the ice, and Rogels now will watch it go to the corner, stop it back behind the net, and hand off to Tredowitz. Past the 4-minute mark of the first period, this the battle for the Whitelaw Cup ECAC Championship game. Clarkson and St. Lawrence are scorers here at the Boston Garden. 30th annual ECAC tournament. 25th consecutive year it has been here at the Garden. Clarkson in the championship game. They have never won the championship here on Garden Ice. Last title for the Golden Knights was 1966. Thomas a shot, Kuntar the save. Rebound is loose, and Kuntar gets a good bump there as he holds on. And the faceoff will come in the Saints' end.
He got a pretty good wrap right there in the goal crease. I think he's nicked a little bit, checking on his forehead. That puck sort of just hung there right out in front of him. There you see their power play statistics. As we said, 36% of the time they score, but they've struggled a little bit in the playoffs, Bob. They were, I think, 0 for 8 against Yale in power play attempts, even though they bombed Yale out. But well, there last night, they had at least 1 power play goal.
They were 0 for 2 their first 2 attempts. I remember that. They wound up getting a power play goal on their 3rd.
They haven't been great in power play in the playoffs. Shot from the outside through some traffic. Right there, so look at that puck just sort of hang there, and that's where Kuntar got wrapped just after it as the puck trickled in on him.
Still 45 seconds to go in Giason's penalties. Finally, the puck will wind up back in the Clarkson end. Rogels will leave now for Guy Sanderson. Sanderson now for the Golden Knights. Hugo Belanger sending it ring wide, dangerous again. Michael Tabby across the line. Gets the return pass, drops it back for Guy Sanderson. Deflection, they score! Hugo Belanger out in front with the power play goal on the rebound. It comes at 5:03 here in the first period, and Clarkson has a 1-0 lead.
Well, that's a funny kind of goal. Watch what happens on the shot. You're going to see it as Sanderson gets the shot from the point outside, and he sort of misses this shot. Watch the change of pace. He misses it, deflected inside. Puck hangs loose, and Belanger camped right outside the goal crease, puts it away. Hugo Belanger, his 24th goal of the season. Deflection in front. Belanger loose, puts it in. 9th power play goal, 24th goal. Hugo Belanger out of St. Hubert, Quebec. One of the 3 sophomores in Clarkson history, along with Zappia and Patterson, to reach the 100-point total by the end of their sophomore year.
And a 1-0 lead for the Golden Knights. As Steve Dubinsky rolls it down the left side, back after it now Mike McCord of St. Lawrence. Put it back behind the goal. Dubinsky gets tied up back there by Ted Beatty. Tries to work it free. Carville working it ahead. Eric Lacroix playing it back out to center ice. Brought back in offside, hand pass rather. Called by referee John Gallagher.
Sanderson will get 1 assist on that. You know, that was a tough shot because Sanderson misfired on it. Then it was deflected in front. And what happened with Kuntar, he just got down, sitting down, anticipating the shot. Got a little bit out of position, and when Belanger left alone in front of the net with the rebound, just pounded it by.
Also giving Tremblay an assist.
Probably deflected off Tremblay just in front. We saw a deflection in there, didn't see who it went off of, and obviously that was Tremblay. Dave Tremblay from Scarborough picks up the assist. Power
play goal wrapped in now by Pritchard. Redowitz banging in there with Spencer Meany. And that'll wind up in the crowd in the face-off, I believe, in the Clarkson zone. 14:03 remaining here, first period. Belanger, number 24 in the year. Sanderson and Tremblay the assist. 5:03 the time of the power play goal.
Little difference in the way that St. Lawrence is firing here in the first period after 5 or 6 minutes compared to the way they went at it last night. Last night, they just came out all juiced up and took the entire first period right away from Harvard, totally dominated. This first period, not so much so. They are not quite firing the way they did against Harvard. Going to have to juice that up because that's something they have to have. They have a quickness advantage over Clarkson's size, but they got to fire.
Here comes Pritchard. Pritchard against Redowitz.
Penalty on Thomas.
Thomas will go to the penalty box, and it'll be St. Lawrence's turn with a power play when we continue.
Scott Thomas in the box out of East Aurora, New York. He was back checking on Spencer Meany, and he got picked up by the referee. Watch it on the left side of the screen. That's the trip. Gets sent off for interference. Number 19, Thomas on Spencer Meany. Meany busted for the net. And Thomas picks up the penalty. Nice job, guys.
Meany now going against Steve Dubinsky on the draw. St. Lawrence first power play of the night.
Did I say that St. Lawrence fired against Harvard, and I should have said Cornell?
They had a tough time with Cornell early last night, but they made a great job of coming back in the hockey game. Cornell came out, threw everything at him early. Had a 2-0 lead.
I thought the first period they played particularly well, St. Lawrence, and then let Cornell take it away from them in the second. Then they got the 2 power play goals, and from that point on, they were back in the hunt. Their power play is 26% effectiveness, 46 out of 172. Clarkson's excellent shorthand, too. They're only scored on 18% of the time. Boy, that's good shorthand. Great power play, great shorthand, good combination.
Martin Lacroix playing it back for LePerriere. Now off for Pritchard. Pritchard moving in. Pritchard trying to move it across, but it's picked off by Jeff Corey. Corey getting it ahead now for Mike Kozak. Kozak works against LePerriere. Drops it off. Corey fires, and Kuntov made the save.
Yeah, Clarkson only has 1 shorthanded goal. Very surprising. 1 shorthanded goal all season.
Mike Lappin across the line. Sent down the ice by Tommy.
You know, you'd think by accident you'd pick up more than 1 shorthanded goal. But Dave Tremblay has the only one for them. That's the fewest of any one of the Hockey East teams that we've seen. Division I teams, rather.
Redowitz picked off the clearing pass and rolled it through the crease.
That was almost another one.
The Albert down, charging back out to center. Weird Karam in front. Redowitz back at the other end to break it up. Spencer Meany. 24 seconds to go in the St. Lawrence power play. Greg Carville tried a centering pass. Carville gets it back again. Off now for Chris Lappin, a shot. And Rogels with the save. And Meany going to work back out in front again. And we'll get a face-off coming up in the Clarkson zone. We passed the 8-minute mark of the first period. 1-0 for the Golden Knights.
Here's one of the great guys coaching in college hockey, Joey Marsh. A real gentleman and a sportsman. You know, one of the things that impressed me when we did the St. Lawrence team earlier in the season, Bob, was how much the kids talk about really enjoying playing for Joe Marsh and wanting to go out and win for the guy. And he's just got a tremendously positive spirit that I'm sure he communicates to the players on the team.
Trombley on the face-off now, going against Carville.
I was talking to Coach Peterson of the Olympic team this morning, and he just has a lot of admiration for Joe Marsh and the not only enthusiasm, but the technical knowledge of the game.
Lappin goes back now and plays it for St. Lawrence. Thomas penalty expires. Clarkson back Saints. Conroy to keep it in. Gall knocking it back out to center. Conroy taken down. Meany with a shove over there. Here's Meany, bothered by Thomas, and it's offside.
Another penalty on Clarkson. Going to send Martin Dawson is off. This is Mark Morris, the coach of Clarkson, and he's done a great job since taking over the Cap Raider. Cap became the assistant coach of the LA Kings. Mark Morris, the coach of Clarkson and former assistant at St. Lawrence, has done a great job there.
Watches his defenseman Martin Dorsenans going off. Not sure what the call is, but the time of the penalty, 8 minutes and 38 seconds, and St. Lawrence will have another power play.
I think it was a slash, but I didn't wait and see. I was going to say we'll wait and see. How can you call it a slash and then say we'll wait and see?
See if you're right.
2 minutes, cross-checking. Time of the penalty, 8 minutes and 38 seconds.
Well, St. Lawrence back to the power play. Dave Tredowitz back in the Clarkson zone. Clarkson clearing it down the ice. Huntar hands off now for LePerriere back behind the goal. A hero last night. He had the goal at 6:24 of overtime.
After almost being a goat.
It beat Cornell. Big Red had quite a delegation here at the Boston Garden.
And he was beaten in a one-on-one by Mandeville for a key goal late in the game and turned back to score the game winner.
Perrier just inside the line, moves it over now for Andy Pritchard, who is hounded by Castleman into making a bad pass. Perrier goes back after it. Too far for Pritchard, broken up by Guy Sanderson and sent back into the St. Lawrence zone.
Okay, when that first pass on the breakout and power play is not right on the money, you're in nothing but trouble.
Martin Lacroix at center ice, dumping it into the Clarkson zone. Rogel stops back behind the goal. Tredowitz plays it off for Steve Dubinsky. Now it's Dubinsky for Clarkson, sending it all the way back down again, and Puntar stopping it back behind the goal. Perrier watched by Kozak. Perrier will carry it out of his own zone, passing now to Carvel at center, who will flip it into the Clarkson end. Meany crashing in against Navy again. Comes loose to Pritchard out in front. Pritchard fires, he scores!
No goal.
No goal. John Gallagher said no goal.
He's going to call in the crease. He's going to call Spencer Meany for being in the crease. No goal. I think he's going to call Meany in the crease.
No goal.
Yep. Meany
No
interference.
goal because of a St. Lawrence penalty.
They're going to call interference on Meany rather than in the crease, but there's Meany. Meany's going to say he was thrown. That's right, interfering with the goaltender through the crease. But it was definitely on Meany in front of the net.
So Meany goes for interference, 10 minutes even. The time of the penalty immediately waved off. The goal was by John Gallagher. 39 seconds left in Dorsenen's penalty.
You know, the thing that confused me there is when you're waving the goal off, you can't put your hand up for a penalty. So when he waved the goal off, I saw for sure that Meany was in the crease. I didn't realize he was going to call the interference.
Back after it now goes Henrich. Henrich clearing it back behind the goal. Starting out is Tredowitz with a pass to Tremblay. Tremblay bringing it out to center. 4 skaters aside for the next 25 seconds. And that's Clarkson's second power play of the night. Mike McCourt back behind the goal, charging out now for St. Lawrence. Back out at center now. Michael Elaine works it ahead. Dave Tredowitz goes to the corner, takes the hit there from Albert. Spun along the boards. Beatty will keep it in. Getting it over to Mike McCourt. Dorsenens is back in 5 seconds. Here's Tremblay. Moving it now out for Belanger. Off the bench left and got turned around a little bit. Belanger, though, is on the solo rush. Looking for some help. Before he can get it, Elaine will be able to clear the zone. Minute 12 left in Meany's penalty. Craig Conroy. Here comes Sanderson across the line. Thomas beat him on the left wing.
This copyrighted program is brought to you under paid cable TV rights granted by the Eastern Collegiate Athletic Conference solely for the entertainment of our viewing audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the accounts and descriptions of this game without the written consent of the New England Sports Network and the Eastern Collegiate Athletic Conference is prohibited.
6th game of Hockey Fest 91. BU is the champion of Hockey East.
That's the 6th time we've read that over the weekend.
they get the message by now.
You better get it. If you tape it after hearing it 6 times, you're really in trouble.
Castleman is bumped out. You can tape it. You just can't charge it.
You can't sell it. You can't have somebody come in and watch it.
You can have somebody over. You just can't charge it.
I wonder if you could shut off the video and listen to us, whether you have to pay for that. Probably big money.
Sanderson for Thomas. Thomas dangerous, but cut off here. Nice play by Giason. 24 seconds left in Spencer Meany's penalty. Pass Thomas deep into the St. Lawrence zone. That'll be an icing call.
Boy, that's a low point of your power play. We haven't seen many of those over the weekend, but whenever you have an icing on when you're on power play, that's just a time to just repackage the whole thing, go back to the drawing board.
They were so good during the regular season, just under 40%. Then they went 0 for 8 in the playoffs against Yale. Came back, missed the first 2 last night, but then eventually picked up a power play goal on their 3rd and scored on their first power play tonight. Get
That's
back.
2 for the last 4. 2 for the last 4, 2 for the last 12. So 2 for 12 in the playoffs.
16.7%. Well below where they were.
You continue to go on to embarrass me coming up with that number as I picked up my pencil to figure it out on paper.
There's Jeff Torrey bringing it back out to center. Beatty knocks it away from Belanger. McCourt tried to cover up there at the side of the cage. Tremblay back behind the goal. Tremblay tried to roll it in front. Belanger doing some bumping in there. Tremblay hit by McCourt. Off for Belanger. Back at full strength, St. Lawrence. Clarkson still dangerous, and Tremblay went flying after the whistle. And there'll be a penalty for him. Lawrence is going to be short again as the nice broadcast comes your way from the Boston Garden.
You don't have to pay trumped-up hotel prices in New York anymore. Chatwal Hotels. A touch of home at a comfortable price. On the west side, the Best Western Woodward and the President. Midtown, the Quality Inn Midtown and the Master Host Chatwal Inn on 45th Street. Gramercy, the Red Carpet Chatwal Inn on Park Avenue. Herald Square, the Aberdeen. And at JFK Airport, the Kennedy Inn. Rates start at only $75 daily. Chatwal Hotels. 1-800-826-4667. 1-800-826-4667.
Well, that's a great play out of the corner. This is Belanger in the corner. And I'll tell you, Tremblay's all tied up in front of the net, but he still is going to be able to deflect that shot on goal. Watch this play. Just a nice play as he gets bothered in front. There's a penalty right there by Spencer Meany, his 2nd trip to the sin bin.
He's only out 9 seconds. Back in he goes.
Last night he bounced bodies around all night. Didn't spend 1 trip in the box.
Clarkson's 3rd power play here in the 1st period, and the Golden Knights have a 1-0 lead.
Clarkson is physically stronger than St. Lawrence, and right at this point in the game seems to be in physical control of the game because St. Lawrence is not firing, does not have the quickness that they had last night. They don't seem to have their legs to the level they had them last night.
Martin Lacroix out at center. Stopped by Rogels. Off now for Tremblay. Heading it up for Belanger at center. Belanger spun around by LaPerriere, who might have got away with one. Martin Lacroix taking a whack at it. Kuntar will knock it up against the glass. Played back for Tabby. Mark Green moving it down for Tremblay. Belanger getting set out in front. Here's Green moving in. Belanger digging for it at the side of the net. Couldn't quite connect with it.
Well, they get their shorthand in zone box really stretched out left and get out much too far. He's chasing a guy entering the corner. That's too far to get out there.
Tabby couldn't handle it. Martin Lacroix taken care of by the 2 defensemen. And here comes Craig Conroy. Off for Belanger. Back into the St. Lawrence zone. Here comes Mark Green. Green takes the shot. Kuntar the save on the rebound. Conroy scores! Craig Conroy, power play goal. And it's 2-0 Clarkson.
Now this was just a great play by Belanger out at the point on the outside. The shot by Mark Green, that was the initial shot. Kuntar makes that save. But now number 7, Craig Conray, comes in and picks up the loose rebound and puts it in. But I'll tell you the key to the play. The key to the play was out of the blue line, set up by Hugo Belanger, who controlled the puck on the outside, just inside the line, moved it in, set up Green for the initial shot. Green got the shot, and Conroy come in and cashed the rebound.
Conroy at 13:29, so they've converted to pair and power plays. And Clarkson has a 2-0 lead, still 6:25 to go here in the first period. Another faceoff coming back in the St. Lawrence zone.
For Conroy, the freshman out of Potsdam, New York, that's his 7th goal of the season. Number 1 on power play.
Belanger will get an assist.
Yeah, that was a big assist. That was a great play by Belanger out at the point to just control the puck and look around for a play. He just created a play from the outside, from the point. The talented sophomore gets the 2nd assist on the play, but boy, it was a big assist.
And Mark Green should have gotten the assist as well. Sylvain Lapointe back out at center ice. Lapointe is bumped, sent back in again. Sabo goes after it, clears it across the ice. Wrapping it out is Beatty, broken up by Tredowitz at center. There's another 2-on-1. Sabo tries to control, couldn't pull the shot off. Kozak was knocked down out in front of the net, and charging back is Lee Albert. Albert's shot was armed away, that time by Rogan. Sabo back for Dubinsky. Dubinsky out at center ice. He'll send it into the St. Lawrence zone. Guntar will stop back behind the net. Here comes Mike McCourt now for the skating Saints. Dumped by Scott Thomas, plays it back out to center. And sent back into the Saint zone. Thomas after it, played it back behind the net. Ball took a hit from Conroy. Tabby can't keep it in. Conroy from Belanger and Mark Green. The power play goal at 13:29. Will give Clarkson a 2-0 lead here. In the first period of this, the battle for the Whitelaw Cup. At stake, the ECAC Division I Championship. Michael Gall.
They lost it down 2-0 to Cornell, but that was different. They were down 2-0, but they looked like they had great legs. Tonight, they just look flat. They just don't look like they have the skating dip. And they're not going to beat Clarkson when they're one advantage of skating and they don't have it.
There's 2-on-1. Conroy and Thomas. Conroy over to Thomas. Puck was bouncing on him. Gets another chance. No, fires. Kuntar makes the save. Up along the ledge. Game belongs to Clarkson. Here's Castleman. Castleman and David Green. Castleman behind the goal. Miss Sanderson with it. Tabby back out at center ice. 4.5 minutes to go, first period. David Green off now for Sanderson. Guy Sanderson will dump it in. The ice is tilted at this point. David Green tries to find Sabo. He scores! And Sabo makes it a 3-0 game, Clarkson. 15:41, the time of the goal.
Scored before. David Green from inside the goal line throws it out in front. Roderick, watch it right here. Green to the front. Roderick on Sabo, but too late. Sabo just puts it up and over. Here it is. Same kind of goal we just saw before. Deflection goal on the backside behind the goal line. Feet out in front. Green to Sabo and the forward in front. That time tied up by Roderick, but not tied up enough. And I'll tell you, St. Lawrence needs something to stem the tide. This could end up being a rout call because they just have no zip and no legs. And they don't have the game.
Here comes Jeff Torrey on a backhand and glove there by Kuntar as tonight's game comes your way from the Garden.
Time to start thinking about the NCAA tournament, college basketball's biggest party.
Do you people want to hear this point or not?
Of course you do, and that's why Intersport Television is putting its game face on.
What does this have to do with football?
Nothing. It's college basketball's hottest coaches talking about the big dance.
Was Barry Switzer was a ref during that game?
He's another retired coach, Jimmy.
Thank you very much.
It's simply March Madness.
Get the inside scoop Tuesday, March 12th on Nesson.
Ed Sabo's 8th goal of the year at 15:41 from Sean Fotheringham and David Green. David Green gets a big assist, though. Nice play from behind the line. Penalty on the Knights. Torrey's going off. Joe Marsh trying to rally the troops over by the bench. You know, Sometimes they give you all they have to get here. I think St. Lawrence gave every bit they had last night to beat Cornell. And the question when you come up in the final game, when you play a game like you did last night against Cornell and you give it everything you have, what do you have left?
So far here in the first 16 minutes of the hockey game, they haven't had a lot as they've fallen behind 3-zip. Giving up a pair of power play goals. Shots aren't that lopsided. Shots are 11-7, but that doesn't mean...
No, they don't, because you just look at, you watch the game, and you know, they just don't have any feet. You know, they had it last night, and when they were down 2-0, you just felt that they weren't out of the game. Unless something happens to get the troops back in the game, they just don't have the legs to do it right now.
Perrier carrying out to center, hooking the call against Torrey at the 16-minute mark. St. Lawrence on its second power play. Pritchard dropping it back for the Perrier. They really need a goal here. Maybe put some wind into the sails. LePerrier for Lappin, back for LePerrier again, back for Mike Lappin. Lappin directs it on goal. Pritchard scores! Andy Pritchard with the power play goal. Mike Lappin and LePerrier will pick up the assist. And it couldn't have come at a more needed time for St. Lawrence.
Well, they really zing the puck around beautifully. There's Lappin from the top of the circle. Saved there by Rogels, but that puck just drifts out. And you know, the defenseman on the inside, the Orsinens, he's got to be tying up Pritchard and let the goaltender take the shot. After the goaltender makes a save, you can worry about the rebound, but you can't leave Pritchard alone. Can't by the side of the net, not have anybody in front. Andy Pritchard, his 13th power play goal of the season, number 28 of the year for him.
Mike Lappin and LePerrier should get the assist at 16:37.
Now let's see if that fires them. Let's see what kind of legs they have after the goal.
Here's Dubinsky. Dubinsky marching in, a shot. Kantar made the save. Pritchard dumping it back out to center. Tabby going back after it as we approach the 17-minute mark here in the first period. Michael Tabby, watched by Pritchard. Getting it ahead now for Steve Dubinsky. Dubinsky dropped it back for Kozik. Broken off now by Mike Lappin, who will go back behind the goal. Lappin. Off for Chris Lappin. Watched by Dubinsky, standing out in front of Kantar. Chris Lappin sending it up the middle of the ice. Spencer Meany finding Andy Pritchard. Pritchard back now for Meany, watched by Tabby. Taken away by Sanderson for Mike Kozak. Kozak too far ahead of Dubinsky, but played by Mark Green in before he leaves. Mike McCourt off for Ted Beatty. Beatty getting it back out to center ice, broken up by Sanderson and played back in again. 2:20 to play here, first period. Clarkson 3 and St. Lawrence 1. Here comes Michael Elaine working against David Tredowitz. Tredowitz skates him out of the play. Lee Albert goes back behind the goal. Albert centering pass was stopped that time by Rogel. Lacroix battling behind the net with Craig Conroy. Lacroix got it away with some help from Elaine. Back to Lacroix, stopped by Rogel. There's a little wind behind the sails.
Well, that's right. The goal has gotten them a little bit more zip and life in the legs. That's great forechecking. Elaine and Lacroix, as they take a puck away from behind the goal line. Here's number 22, Michael Elaine, and Lacroix just working very effectively on that forecheck. Rogel's there in the corner of the cage to make the stop.
Past the 18-minute mark here in the first period. 1:56 to go in our first 20-minute session. Clarkson trying to break for them, but has been a garden jinx. They're here every year.
That was John Massoud. I thought it was number 9. It was Massoud who worked that forecheck.
Here's Massoud again on getting the shot on goal. That's knocked away by Rogel. Back out for Sabo. Sabo playing it past the line. Broken up now by Chris Lappin. Lappin getting it back out to center. Sabo knocking it in. And he held to Perrier.
The key thing is to stabilize the game. And even if you don't get any closer, to get some more zip in it and to stabilize the thing.
Albert's high shot was armed away by Rogels. A minute and a half to go here, first period. Chris Lappin. Eddie Den out at center ice, watched by Ed Sabo, backhanded into the Clarkson zone. Keeps it moving, Rogels does, off for David Green. David Green back out to center, broken up by LePerrier. Chasing after Belanger, off for Jim Giason. Giason getting it back to center. Martin Dorson ends, will play it, but picked off by LePerrier in center, and fed back into the Clarkson zone. Rogels clearing, Den picking it off. Den now dropping it back for Giason. Giason Sanderson's shot was smothered. Beatty, though, will keep it in. Hugo Belanger with a penalty now coming up against St. Lawrence again. As Beatty catches the puck, collides there with Torrey. They both go down, but the Saints are going to be shy a man again.
Teddy Dent's going off for cross-checking right in front of the net.
St. Lawrence has given up 2 power play goals to Clarkson, 3 times short, will now be short a 4th time.
Just keep your eye right in front of the net on number 21, and you're going to see Dent with the cross-check right there. It was about 15 or 20 feet in front of the official. It's a pretty good wrap. Torrey and Elaine, and number 4, Ted Beatty.
So is called by Bob, the cross-checking call against Teddy Dent. Here goes Clarkson. They have one of those split power plays, too. Pretty even. 48 seconds this period, a minute 12 next period.
I'll tell you, this is the key spot in the game as far as St. Lawrence is concerned. They got a little zip back in their legs with the power play goal to bring the thing down to within 2. Struggling to get it within 2. Now they've stabilized the game a little bit. Taking a penalty with 45 seconds to go. They got to keep Clarkson off the board here and not go into the locker room with a 3-goal deficit. Very crucial short here.
Pritchard feeding it back in, dumped there by Rogels. Guy Sanderson back behind the goal. 30 seconds to play here in the first period. Brought in by Mark Green. Green in a race with the Perrier, brings it out in front. Kuntar went down, and covering up was Chris Lappin, flipping it all the way down the ice. Back out now for Mark Green, stopped by Lappin at the line. With time running out here in the period, but time for one more rush. Here comes Sanderson. Tremblay and Sanderson trying to keep it in. Belanger fanned on it. Back for Belanger again. Knocked away by Kuntar as the first period comes to an end. Some anxious moments, but St. Lawrence will escape with no further than a 2-goal deficit.
Well, for the first 15 minutes, it was all Clarkson. Then Clarkson took a penalty late in the period with a 3-0 lead. St. Lawrence brought it back to 3-1. They're going to have to kill off a bunch of penalty minutes to start off the second period, but they just need to get their legs back into this hockey game. Showed some signs here late in the period, but we'll see what happens in the second.
After 1, the Golden Knights 3 and the Saints 1. Which you can see in the left-hand portion of your screen there, 1 minute and 12 seconds to serve.
Cross-check in front of the net, not a smart one either.
So Clarkson will start with the man advantage. Mark Green, Dave Tremblay, Hugo Belanger up front. Tavy and Sanderson will man the points. Giason going against Tremblay on the draw. He and Wells will play up front. LaPerriere, along with Chris Lappin, will be the defensive pairing. Tavy back behind his own goal. Sanderson clearing it up along the boards. Chris Lappin's shot was blocked by Green. That hurt Green. Green, though, stays out as Tremblay now will turn and charge for Clarkson. Pass to Hugo Belanger. He will dump it into the St. Lawrence zone. Back after it now, Giason behind the net. That's tipped by a stick and winds up in the crowd here at the Garden. Just the second of 2 earlier this afternoon, or earlier this evening, really. Boston University in overtime on a goal by Sean McEachran won the Hockey East Championship, a 4-3 decision over Maine.
McEachran, the Hockey East Tournament MVP.
Faceoff will move down into Clarkson, and we play 28 seconds of the second period, so 44 seconds remaining in the penalty time to Teddy Dent. Tremblay controls the draw. Sanderson now bothered though by Carvel. Handing it off now for Michael Tavy. Tavy now for Hugo Belanger. Belanger out at center, bothered by Carvel. Dropped it off for Lappin, who clears it all the way back in the Clarkson zone. Sanderson back behind the goal. Green rink wide. LaPerriere will send it back in again. Sanderson will start things again, but only 15 seconds now left in the man advantage. Michael Tavy at center. Moving it ahead now for Belanger. Belanger, Conroy, and Mark Green. Belanger back behind the goal. Penalty time quickly expiring here as Green turns, trying to get it over to Conroy. Conroy fires hit the crossbar as the penalty time to Dent expired. They have one fight.
Yeah, Kuntar never saw it. Never saw it. Hit that cross pipe. Well, what a sound, huh?
Pritchard rang one off the pipe earlier for St. Lawrence, and now Clarkson has a crossbar. Dropping back now, Conroy. Here's Castleman across the line. Castleman poke check by Lappin. Back to center now. Spencer Meany rolls it across the line. Scott Thomas will charge back the other way. Thomas charging against Pritchard, carrying into the St. Lawrence zone. Pritchard will ride him out. Lappin back behind his own goal. Chris Lappin moving it out. Pritchard now works against Sylvain Lapointe. And Dave Trentowitz back to clear. Castleman handing for Conroy. Conroy goes across the line, rolls it back for Castleman, broken up by McCourt to Meany. Poke check by Sylvain Lapointe. Backing at it, Pritchard doesn't get it out though as Mark Green kept it in, but now Spencer Meany back out to center. Pritchard for Mike Lappin. Lappin goes across the line. Pritchard to drive, and that was a riser that went right over the top of the net and slapped off the glass back behind Rogel. Pritchard takes a bump. Lappin for Pritchard. Back out in front and taking a shot there is McCord and caught there by Rogels, who holds on. And boy, St. Lawrence is flying here in the second period and almost got back to within one as tonight's broadcast comes your way from the Garden.
The new 652 tax by CCM. Unmatched power. Total control. Awesome response. 652 tax by CCM. Turn on the power.
Well, this is an ultimate clanger right here. Number 23, Mark Green with the puck coming through the face-off circle. Watch this one. Oh, mercy. Number 7, Craig Conroy. And now that is a clanger.
Reverberated throughout the building.
Clanger.
Clarkson's playing, or St. Lawrence rather, is playing better here in the second period.
Got to sustain it for a while. You know, they haven't sustained it. Just a couple of minutes worth.
And Beatty keeping it in, a shot that skipped wide. Now Henrich plays it back behind the net. Arden Dorson ends now for the Golden Knights at Clarkson. Trying to win here for the first time in the 25 years of the tournament has been at the Boston Garden. They won the last tournament at the Boston Arena, which was 1966.
I don't think Joey Marsh wants Michael Elaine chasing the defenseman behind the net like he did right there. The minute you chase a defenseman behind the net like that, you end up a chaser up the ice. The defenseman just waits for the forechecker to come behind the net and it goes out the other way. And they end up dumping the puck in and getting an icing call. But just stand there and look at him. He's got to do something. Whether you chase him behind the net, he's going to go out the other way on you.
That's the score here, second period, just shy of the 3-minute mark. Michael Elaine out there. Joe Massoud. Lee Albert up front on the line. Massoud got tied up by Henrich off the faceoff. Henrich tried to clear. Michael Gall keeping it in. Henrich tied up back behind the net by Albert. Massoud knocked it to the corner. Michael Elaine comes up with it. Albert watched by Dorson Nance. There's a Roderick shot that wound up in the corner. Dubinsky tried to clear, got it past Gall back to center, and Michael Elaine now for St. Lawrence, beating it back in again. Steve Dubinsky back behind the goal. Off now for Ed Henrich. Henrich rink wide. Here's Ed Sabo charging in against Roderick. Has to keep his balance. Fotheringham a centering pass. Tremblay knocked it loose along the boards. Fotheringham puts it wide of the goal. Tremblay back behind the net, back in front. Fotheringham again. That was a cross-check by Fotheringham. Ran into the Roderick, who fell back into the goaltender. I want to welcome all of you watching around the country tonight on Prime Network. This is our hockey shrine in New England, the Boston Garden, a storied building. North Station here at the north end of the city of Boston. 3-1 the score. Clarkson over St. Lawrence.
And Boston University beat Maine in the first game of this Hockey Fest to win the Hockey East Championship. That's Fotheringham knocking Teddy Dent into the crossbar. These two teams are not New England teams. They're North Country teams from up by the Seaway. St. Lawrence from Canton and Clarkson from Potsdam. Storied rivalry.
Rising shot that time. Tabby over the top of the goal. Perrier trying to get it out, keeping it in. Belage. Here's a shot by Torres. glove save by Les Contar.
Now you see excellent position here by Contar. Watch where his glove is. Here's the shot. Watch how low his glove is and watch where the shot goes. Gets position. Watch the glove. Keep your eye on the glove. Glove down low. Right there. Glove in excellent position to make the save. You know, if you keep that glove down low, you're going to be able to make the save on the low shot. If you have the glove up high at all, you can't get down to make the save with the glove. You can come up real quick, but you can't get down. So the trick is have that glove down low in good position. You can get up with it, but you're in good position if the shot's low. Beautiful shot of that.
Tabby from the point. Lappin now riding it back out to center. Carver will stick it into the Clarkson end. Rogel stops back behind the net. Actually steers it along the boards. Chris Lappin battling Belanger. Eric Lacroix gets turned around. Finally coming out with it is Jeff Torrey. Torrey charging into the St. Lawrence zone. Torrey getting it off for Tremblay. He fired wide. Tabby. Off now for Tremblay. Tremblay for Belanger out in front, and the net is off the magnets. And we'll get a stoppage in play. And we'll take a break and tell you that tonight's broadcast comes your way from the Boston Garden.
From Gillette comes Sensor, the only razor that can sense and adjust to the individual needs of your face. Sensor blades are mounted on responsive springs to continuously sense and individually adjust to your face. The closest, safest, most comfortable Gillette Sensor, together with the richness of foamy shave cream for the best shave a man can get. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Action hot and heavy. Don't duck at home. This one's going to come right in your living room. Snapshot. Here it comes. Make the save. Shot wide. Good chance for Clarkson right there.
Off the face-off. Castleman rips one wide. Paige Tredowitz comes all the way back to the Clarkson end. Tredowitz goes in against Pritchard. Meany goes back behind the goal, and again the net off the magnets. And a face-off coming in the Clarkson zone. We're just shy of the 5-minute mark here of the second period. Clarkson leading St. Lawrence 3-1 in the battle for the ECAC Championship.
Clarkson jumped off to a 3-0 lead, and Andy Pritchard made it 3-1 with a power play goal late in the first period. Clarkson, St. Lawrence rather, was down to Cornell 2-0 in the second period. Came back last night, came back, scored 2 power play goals, eventually won the game in overtime. Overtime win at Boston University over Maine in the first game. Sean McEachern scored the goal to win it in overtime as BU beat Maine 4-3 in a great game.
Spencer Meany, Craig Conroy on the draw. Meany banging in the corner. Pritchard comes up with it. Off now for Dave Tredowitz. Tredowitz heading it out to center. Picked up there by Castleman. Meany ran into Castleman at the line. Puck is played by Ted Beatty. Called on the offside.
Spencer Meany runs into everything.
Net, goaltenders.
Taking 2 penalties tonight. Played up at St. Mary's, the St. Mary's Lincolns in the Junior B League. That's in the same area that Stratford, London, and that area west of Toronto, between Toronto and Hamilton. Great college hockey players have come out of that area. It's going to be a good one.
Morrison ends took a bump that time from Spencer Meany. Mike McCourt goes back, chased back behind the goal by Steve Dubinsky. Now McCourt heading it up the center of the ice. Looking up there by Dorson ends, all for Dubinsky, and back into the St. Lawrence zone it goes. And that'll be an icing call. So the face-off will go back at the Clarkson end of the ice. We played 5 minutes 35 seconds of the second period. Ted Beatty. Sophomore, 6'2", 210-pounder out of Barrie, Ontario. St. Lawrence with some fans. Their biggest delegation, I think, so far, but we've seen has been from Cornell here last night.
They sure were, and they had the most synchronized cheers, too. Not all ones that the referees wanted to hear or the opposing goaltender, but they were synchronized nonetheless.
Broken up and brought back out to center ice now by Kozak, working it ahead for Mark Green. Green played it back behind the goal. Henrik tried to pinch it in, but it comes back into the Clarkson zone. Dorson ends goes back after it and again takes a hit that time a little late. have been a penalty called prior to that.
I think the penalty would have to be on Diorson-Enns again for interference, but let's take a look at it. Martin Diorson-Enns. That's Dubinsky, maybe. Steve Dubinsky? Yeah, Dubinsky's going off on that play along the sideboards. That's the late polish we saw at the end with Diorson-Enns and number 23, Lee Albert. But that was Dubinsky down the sideboards. Goes off for interference.
The St. Lawrence will get its third power play of the night. They've converted on one of the previous two.
The last one, wasn't it?
Yeah, they'll go by Pritchard at 16:37.
Well, they need another one right here. 2 power play goals got them back in the game against Cornell last night, Bob, and they're down 2-0. In the second period, they potted 2 power play goals, and they need another one right now. Stabilize the game a little bit, though. They're not being outmanned as much as they were in the first period.
Abbey clearing back out to center. That winds up in the penalty area, so we'll face it off again, but 4 seconds go off the clock. A minute 56 now. Going to penalty time to Dubinsky. Get a look there at Dave Tredowitz, one of the players that Olympic coach Dave Peterson talked about.
He's never missed a game in his college career. From the first game of his freshman year, holds a record for consecutive games played. As we look at the power play stats for tonight, record for consecutive games played at Clarkson, Dave Tredowitz.
Here comes LePerriere. LePerriere dropping it off. Lappin's shot was blocked by Tredowitz. Keeping it in, LePerriere had it knocked down on in front by Tabby. Mike Lappin comes up with it. Lappin dropping it back. Lappin getting the return pass. Lappin a drive. It hit the outside of the net. Well covered, though, by Rogers. Here's Lappin again, trying to work it across, and Dave Green clears it down the ice. Tredowitz back behind the play is injured. He blocked that shot, and it has hurt. If he were to miss any kind of time, but that'd be a big hole for Clarkson to fill defensively.
Usually, when you block a shot, obviously it hurts, but as I say, it only hurts for a little while. But when it hurts an awful lot.
Tredowitz, all ECAC defenseman.
He's a good player, and he's a very durable player, as we said. Holds the all-time record for consecutive games played at Clarkson. We're going to be right back.
So how many cars does Mercedes test crash every year?
Oh, I say about 100. You can never learn enough. Ever since we had it patented, we have been improving this concept of the energy-absorbing car body.
But other companies use the concept.
We have never enforced the patent.
So Mercedes gave away a basic safety advance for free?
There are some things in life that are too important not to share.
Dave Tredowitz, the outstanding captain of the Clarkson Golden Knights out of Liverpool, New York. Let's watch him right here, number 3, right over here with the shot. Watch him on the block. Comes out. Catches all that one. Let's take a look at him again. Tredowitz prepped at Northwood School. Played 35 games as a freshman, 32 as a sophomore, and 35 as a senior, as a junior, rather.
Looked like they were working on the inside of his knee.
Yeah, well, that's what, you know, there's a spot there as you turn to block a shot. You try to turn so your shin guards face the shot directly, but sometimes your leg gets turned one way or the other, and the puck, when it comes at you, hits the part that is not well protected, and you really get zinged. 136 consecutive game. I'll guarantee he'll be out there before long.
In a moment at least, he's going to head down the passageway to the Clarkson locker room. We have 13:31 to play here, second period. Still a minute and 30, or still a minute 24 left in the penalty time to Steve Dubinsky. As the Clarkson captain, Dave Tredowitz, has departed. They'll now clear it Tremblay, Castleman, Sanderson, and Tabby.
You know, watching him walk out there, you talked about, I think he might have caught that on the ankle.
Andy Pritchard.
May not be back out if he caught it on the ankle.
Poking it in is Tremblay. Tremblay flying down the left side, taken care of by Mike Lappin.
Mike Lappin does a nice job here because Tremblay has a step on him. Watch Lapham come to the inside, work the shoulder, get the stick in front, avoid the holding call. Good job back checking by Lapham as he holds Tremblay out of there.
Word on Tredowitz as he was hit on the inside of the knee. The doctor is working on him in the locker room.
That's a nice play by Lapham there. Nice stop by Kuntar.
Face off to the right of Kuntar. Lapham now going against Tremblay on the draw. Off the face-off, Pritchard dropping it back behind the goal. The Perrier. Castleman keeping an eye on him out in front of the net. Now Lapham finding Lacroix at center ice. Lacroix, nice move, trying to move it across. Martin Lacroix dropping it back now for LePerrier. LePerrier just inside the blue line. Andy Pritchard. Pritchard down to Lacroix. Lacroix watched by Sanderson. Now Lacroix finds Mike Lapham. Lapham getting it back for LePerrier. Back for Lapham again. Over for LePerrier. Broken up finally by Tremblay, who will poke it free back out to center ice. Here comes Tremblay. Scooting in. Takes the shot. Knocked away by Kuntar.
They got to get some shots off on Tremblay. They had some pretty good shooting positions. And even on the original rush, trying to get cute with that rush and make an extra pass. They need a goal. They need a score. They need to shoot.
Ogles knocked it away from Pritchard. Mike Lapham plays it back for Pritchard in the corner. Comes back for LePerrier. LePerrier just inside the blue line. Watched by Castleman, who blocked the shot. Here's Mike Lapham off the mark. Now comes Dorson-Enns. Dorson-Enns charging back out to center. Here's Martin Dorson-Enns. Step on Pritchard, but Pritchard reached around, took the puck away.
Well, that's a nifty piece of back checking by Pritchard. I thought he was lost on that play.
Tredowitz is getting his knee wrapped. He may be back before the end of this period. Here comes Sylvain Lapointe. Lapointe out in front, whistles it wide with Mark Green cruising. Kozak doing some shoving, and back after it now goes Mike Otavi. Clarkson back at full strength as Tabby now comes out of his own zone, bumped over there by Michael Elaine. Elaine has it back at center ice. Elaine for Albert with a shot, kicked away by Rogel. Dubinsky back out to center. Sylvain Lapointe bumping there with Elaine, who controls. Elaine goes down, and Lapointe is going to go off. It'll be another St. Lawrence power play. Penalty will come at 8:52 here of the second period.
That's Tredowitz going to work on the ankle. You saw him go off, and you didn't think he might not be back out again, but let's watch the penalty. Along the sideboards, Elaine. There's the hole, both hands gripping on from the rear. Number 17, Sylvain Lapointe. Holding at 8:52.
Well, Lapointe is off. St. Lawrence will now go on the power play for the 5th time tonight. Tredowitz has tested it, and Tredowitz is going to play. Oh, they make hockey players tough, don't they?
Yeah, up at Northwood School. That's where he prepped at. He and his brother prepped at Northwood, and of course they got a great program there for many, many years. But he's a tough kid, and you don't play all those games, consecutive games, without playing through some injuries.
Tredowitz breaks it up, feeds it back out to center ice. Chris Lapham now works it over for Carville. Carville charging in against Tabby. Carville forced back behind the goal. Carville still controls, plays it back over for Gall. Michael Gall inside the line for Chris Lapham. Tried to work it in front, whistled wide that time by Lee Albert. Michael Gall back now for Chris Lapham. Lapham working it down for Albert. A shot that's blocked by Tabby. Steve Dubinsky will carry out to center ice. Now Dubinsky tried to work it ahead for Scott Thomas. Didn't quite work. Michael Gall off for Lee Albert. 1:18 to go in the St. Lawrence power play. Tredowitz bumped Albert out of the play. Carville had it broken up. Gall keeping it in on the right point. Ball drops off for Carville, tried to roll it in front, but Dubinsky clears his own.
Trying to make an extra pass coming into the middle or even out on the top of the circle and from the point, and they just got to generate some more offensive shots from that point position. I think they've had room to shoot, they just haven't shot the puck.
Michael Gall for Chris Lapham. We passed the 10-minute mark of the second period. 3-1 in favor of Clarkson in the ECAC Championship game here at the Boston Garden. Michael Gall, watched by David Green. Andy Pritchard now charging at center, moves across the Clarkson line. Line up by Castleman, back behind the goal, but Pritchard comes back out the other side. But had it tipped by Green back to center ice. 20 seconds now to go in the holding call against Sylvain Lapointe. Mike Lappin bumped there by Dorison Enns. Lacroix getting it across the line now for Pritchard. Finds Mike Lappin, back for Danielle LaPerriere. Moving it down for Mike Lappin. Across for Pritchard, he scores! Andy Pritchard. Second power play goal of the night for Pritchard, and it's 3-2.
Well, I'll tell you, we saw this exact goal last night. Danielle LaPerriere right here on the point. Watch him. Fake the shot, freeze. Over here to Lapham. Across the ice to Pritchard for a one-timer. Watch. Now watch the cross-ice pass. Lapham sees Pritchard. Gonna find that slot right through there. Find the hole. One time, bang. Get it through before the goalie comes back. Exact mirror of a goal scored against Cornell last night. Couldn't have duplicated any more if you just did the video from last night's game. Perfect play. Andy Pritchard, 14th power play goal of the season.
Well, Pritchard picks up the goal, his second goal of the night. Here comes another chance for St. Lawrence. Wells is in. Rogels made the save. Mike McCourt playing it into the corner. Chris Wells bumped back there by Dorison Enns. Corey tried to tip it. Beatty kept it in. Belanger, though, rides it back out to center. Here comes Hugo Belanger. Working it across the line. Belanger tried to find Torrey out in front, but broke it up out there by McCourt and sent back to center ice. Teddy Dent. Here's Wells. Pumped out of the play by Guy Sanderson. Giason moves it along the boards. Belanger hands off now for Tremblay. Tremblay to center will clear it into the St. Lawrence zone.
The goal, Andy Pritchard's 29th, his second goal of the season, and his 14th power play goal. Same way the last one came from Danielle LaPerriere and Mike Lappin.
Three at center. Tabby picks it up. Tabby plays it into the St. Lawrence zone. Mike Kozak goes to the corner. Kozak is bumped back there by McCourt. We've passed the 12-minute mark here of the second period. 3-2 in favor of Clarkson. Eric Lacroix. Bumped by Sanderson. Still controls. Eric Lacroix finds Chris Lappin a shot. Rogels a save. They score! Wells on the rebound. I'm sorry, that's Martin Lacroix on the rebound.
Funny things happen when you shoot on the net. Eric Lacroix, nice rush. Chris Lappin with the shot. Goaltender can't handle a rebound, and Lacroix comes in, picks up that loose puck and throws it in the net. Shot by Lappin. Look at loose puck and bang. Johnny on the spot. That's what happens when you can't control a rebound. Could have used some help in front of the net, but Chris Rogels loses the rebound right in front of him at number 9, Martin Lacroix, his 16th goal of the season. And we've got ourselves a hockey game, Robert.
What a surprise. We're tied again. 3-3 the score.
Absolutely. And ever since that goal, the power play goal to make it 3-1 that Andy Pritchard scored, it's been St. Lawrence back in this hockey game. They were down 3-0. They desperately needed something to get their wheels back in the hunt here. And they got it with the Pritchard power play goal, followed by another Pritchard power play goal, followed by that goal by Martin Lacroix to tie the game up.
Mark Boris of Clarkson has seen his club take a 3-0 lead and now fall back into a 3-3 tie. Belanger, Conroy, and Sabo to get Clarkson started, but now Pritchard twice and Martin Lacroix. Martin Lacroix is 16th, Chris Lappin, and Eric Lacroix picking up the assist.
Martin Lacroix out of Governor Dummer.
Well, both clubs have full-strength goals. Both clubs have 2 power play goals. And we have a 3-3 hockey game in the ECAC Championship, the battle for the Whitelaw Cup here at the Boston Garden. Out with it, Spencer Meany. Meany this time ran into a point out in front. Rogels a big save. Here's LaPerriere's shot. That hit traffic in front. Spencer Meany back behind the goal. Meany's entering pass taken away by Conroy. Conroy comes back out to center ice. And Conroy is going to go, and Clarkson will go on the power play. It has been a wild second period here at the Boston Garden. Let's take a timeout.
St. Patrick's Day is your lucky day during Sullivan Tire's St. Patrick's Day tire sale. Buy 3 quality Goodyear Arriva radials at the regular price and get the 4th Arriva free. Goodyear Arriva radials provide the all-season handling your car needs. And now when you buy 3, Sullivan Tire will give you the 4th Arriva free. But hurry, the St. Patrick's Day tire sale ends March 23rd, only at Sullivan Tire.
Spencer Meany's going to spend his 3rd trip in the penalty box as Eagles going to go out for slashing. Coming back on the back-checking effort against number 7, Craig Conroy. Meany doing his 5th and 6th minute in the box tonight.
12:58, the time of the penalty. Power play number 5 now coming up for Clarkson, which is going 2 for the previous 4.
The last shorthand, St. Lawrence played exceptionally well. You know, shorthand, we talked about St. Lawrence getting their legs back in the game after the Pritchard goal to make it 3-1. They just had renewed zip and have brought it into the second period. And that shows in the shorthand. You can't play shorthand well unless you're skating quickly. St. Lawrence's shorthand in this second period has been much better, particularly the last one. They're much quicker.
Tremblay, Belanger, Mark Green up front, Mike Octavi, Guy Sanderson manning the points. Coach Mark Morris. Back is Taffy for Clarkson, for Tremblay now with center. Tremblay dropping it off for Guy Sanderson. Sanderson back inside his own blue line. Over now for Taffy. Taffy at center. Handing it off now for Sanderson. Sanderson from center ice will clear it in. Belanger. Belanger takes the pass, moves it across for Green, back for Belanger. Now it's Tremblay. Tremblay to Henrich. Henrich getting it back for Tremblay. Minute 15 to go in the power play for Clarkson. And Green is going to score! Tipped in out in front by Hugo Belanger. Belanger's 25th goal of the season, his 2nd tonight. 3rd power play goal by Clarkson, and it's 4-3.
They sing this thing around pretty well, but you got to watch Belanger on the left side from the point. It's going to head into Green on the right side. Green's going to get the pass from the top of the circle. Watch the play go. Green, top of the circle. Now watch Belanger right here on the left side. Right there, here's Green. Going to come shot, tip right inside there. Watch him right by the net. Bing! Nice shot, nice goal. Great passing by Clarkson on the power play. Right in your living room. Hugo Belanger, redirect on the inside. Wrong guy to leave alone.
Belanger has picked up a pair of goals tonight. They've both been power play goals. And Clarkson has regained the lead 4-3 here at the Garden. Chris Lappin broken up on his center ice by Ed Sabo. Sabo will dump it back into the St. Lawrence zone. Chris Lappin goes to the corner. Fotheringham the centering pass. That's broken up, and here comes LaPerriere to center with a pass to Wells. Wells goes across the line, back for LaPerriere. Wells back behind the net. Winder rolling back in front. Rogels knocked that one away. Fotheringham getting it out to Sabo now at center. Radowitz is off the mark with that shot. Mike Kozak now in the corner. Kozak for Green, broken up by LaPerriere. Radowitz pitching in. Chris Lappin getting it back out to center. Coming across the line now, Teddy Dent, watched by David Green. Down goes Dent. A dive, it's overlooked by referee Gallagher. Sylvain Lapointe bumped there by Dent. Wells comes in now for St. Lawrence. Watched by Tredowitz. Green broke up the pass as we pass the 15-minute mark here of the second period. Clarkson 4, St. Lawrence 3.
Goal by Belanger, his 25th, assisted by Mark Green and Dave Tremblay at 13:50.
Icing is the goal. 4:43 remaining here in the second period.
For Hugo Belanger, we were talking after the game last night that Belanger, who along with Zappia and Colin Patterson, two great Clarkson players, only the third Clarkson player to score 100 points by the end of his sophomore year. Really wasn't a factor in last night's game, but he's been a factor tonight. He has 2 power play goals, a couple of assists, and just played great hockey.
Face-off will go to the left of goaltender Chris Rogels. Tavy up along the boards. Anderson wrapping it. Eric Lacroix back at his own blue line. Now Lacroix for St. Lawrence. This is Greg Carvel. Carvel finds Beatty. Beatty from center ice feeds it in. Sanderson goes back. Carvel now in the corner for St. Lawrence. Martin Lacroix. Lacroix watched by Sanderson. Picking it up now Steve Dubinsky. And Dubinsky will clear. And it'll wind up in the crowd as tonight's game comes your way from the Garden.
You don't have to pay trumped-up hotel prices in New York anymore. Chatwal Hotels. A touch of home at a comfortable price. On the west side, the Best Western Woodward and the President. Midtown, the Quality Inn Midtown and the Master Host Chatwal Inn on 45th Street. Gramercy, the Red Carpet Chatwal Inn on Park Avenue. Herald Square, the Aberdeen. And at JFK Airport, the Kennedy Inn. Rates start at only $75 daily. Chatwal Hotels. 1-800-826-4667. 1-800-826-4667.
Thomas now getting it out for Mike Castleman at center. Broken up there by Mike McCourt. Back to center ice. Dorison Enns will clear it in. Ed Beatty for St. Lawrence. Back out for Henrich at center. Henrich back inside his own line. Off for Spencer Meany. Mike Lappin trying to work it free. This is McCourt back inside his own line with 3.5 minutes to play here in the second period. ECAC Championship game. BU won the Hockey East title with a 4-3 decision over Maine in overtime. Sean McEachran at 2:19 of sudden death. Too far for Scott Thomas. LePerriere goes back. Out comes Mike Lappin. Spencer Meany falling down. And we'll get a face-off. Just shy of the 17-minute mark here in the second period. Third meeting between Clarkson and St. Lawrence this year. Both has won on home ice.
I was just going to say, what were the results of the previous 2? Well, they have some wars up there, I'll tell you. St. Lawrence and Clarkson. Schools very close. Storied rivalry in the game. Tough place to play if you're a visitor going up there. Northern swing.
Out in front of Rogels knocked away. Jeff Torrey takes a bump in there. For Michael Elaine, Trudowitz and Albert. Out comes Dave Tremblay working it for Hugo Belanger at center. The pass going across for Jeff Torrey. Torrey trying to swing in. He was knocked down. Tremblay works it back for Sylvain Lapointe, whose shot is off the mark. Hugo Belanger. Belanger playing it behind the net for Tremblay. Back out in front. Torrey couldn't get turned around. Here's Belanger again, playing it back behind the net this time for Tremblay. Off for Torrey, a shot. Puntar made the save. Lapointe had to get by him. Here comes Lee Albert, 2-on-1 with Bassoon. Albert a shot. Bassoon the rebound went wide. Albert tried to roll it back in front. Trudowitz broke it up. Now Jeff Torrey for Clarkson, off for Dave Trudowitz. Trudowitz hitting it out for Belanger. Belanger rolls it to an open wing. Lapointe will catch up with it, get it across the line into the St. Lawrence zone. Teddy Dent goes back. Off now for Ted Beatty, who fell down in the corner. Knocking it in, Chris Wells away from Guy Sanderson. Lapointe with a heavy check. Michael Gall keeping it in. Janison getting it out in front. Teddy Dent scores! Jim Janison got it out front, and Teddy Dent wrapped it home at 18:30.
Well, there's just a big screen in front of the goaltender, Rogels. He doesn't have much of a chance. This Janison, watch what happens right here in front of the net. Totally screened on the inside. Dent puts it in, but a big screen in front of the goaltender just blocks his vision of the puck, and you can see it right there. Great job by number 7, Chris Wells. Janison got it out in front, but Wells makes a play by obscuring the goaltender's vision of the puck, allowing Number 21, Teddy Dent, to come in and pot the goal.
1830, Dent from Giason. And we'll start again a 4-4 hockey game in the battle for the supremacy in the ECAC. Dubinsky working it ahead. Here comes Mike Kozak. Kozak drops it off. Mark Green whistles it wide. And back after it now goes Guy Sanderson. Sanderson going deep in the Clarkson zone. Back behind his own goal. Back out to center ice. Chasing it down the barrier. Watched there by Mark Green. Broken up by Dubinsky. Gains the line. Off for Mark Green. Green is in. Kuntar is down. Shot never made it through. Neither did Green. Perrier working it over now for Martin Lacroix. He gets spun around. Sanderson controls. Winding up in the net that time was the netminder Rogels. Dent got the goal. Giason and Wells got the assist of a tying goal at 1830.
Yeah, Wells is the one that caused all the confusion in front of the net and really disrupted Rogels' ability to handle the puck. And that rebound came out loose, and Teddy Dent just came in and potted it. Penalties.
John Gallagher calling at least one penalty. That would be to Eric Lacroix.
And I think he's got Mikko Tavi also.
Tavi for cross-checking and Lacroix for interference. Well, you give them up any way you want. They both come at 1913.
Keep your eye on number 5. There's a penalty, number 5's penalty. And the other penalty on Lacroix. Eric Lacroix, number 28.
Here comes Scott Thomas trying to get a burst of speed as he goes by the side of the net. 35 seconds, all that's left here in the second period. Tredowitz out in center ice, getting it for Scott Thomas. Thomas now at the line, works it across for Castleman. Dropping it back. Shot from the point was knocked down. It was dangerous. Castleman takes it back behind the goal. Back on the point again to Ed Henrich. Henrich tries to feed it through. Oh, Kuntar found that one at the last minute. Henrich knocking it away. Bringing it back into the St. Lawrence zone. Rolls back out to center ice, and Tredowitz will play it back into the same zone as the siren sounds, ending the second period of play. 3-1 Clarkson after 1, and St. Lawrence reversed it here in the second period.
Yeah, they've got to be real happy with the way they played. They were outmanned, outgunned in the first period, but they got a power play goal late, and from that point on, they've just got the legs back again, and they've made this a great hockey game. It's 4-4. We've got one more period to go, and this one also has a set of overtime.
A little early for that yet.
Don't say that.
St. Lawrence 4 and Clarkson 4 at the end of 2 periods in the battle for the Whitelaw Cup.
March is Super Sports Month on Nesson. Sunday, March 17th at 8 p.m. The St. Patrick's Day Donnybrook. A 10-bout boxing card from Boston. With the Irish national boxing team facing Golden Gloves champions and Olympic hopefuls from New England. Sponsored by Sullivan Tire Car Care Centers. On the 17th of March, Super Sports Month on Nesson.
For the man who really loves his golf, nothing will stand in his way when he wants to play. He'll play anywhere. Trouble, however, can be encountered on any golf course. Hazards like heavy rough. Golf Digest magazine can help. Every golfer wants to improve, but the golfer who improves most reads Golf Digest. For him, sand shots are easy. Golf Digest's instructional articles can even see you through the perils of a water hazard. Your favorite course may be less treacherous than this one, but probably no less demanding. Wherever you play, play better with Golf Digest.
Get a full year of Golf Digest for $19.77. Call 800-241-6600 now and get our free half-hour instructional video with your paid subscription. Call 800-241-6600 now.
With 3 out of 5 games going to overtime, 4 out of 5 being decided by 1 goal when Clarkson jumped out to a 3-goal first period lead, thought maybe we have just a normal run-of-the-mill hockey game for a change. Fooled us, didn't we? It's tied 4-4 now at the end of 2 periods and heading into the third. Let's go down to Boston Garden to join Mike Crispino. He has with him Lang Kennedy. He is the director and chairman of the NCAA Selection Committee. Mike?
Thank you, Thomas. Within the next 24 hours, Lang Kennedy is either going to be the most popular man in all of America or the most unpopular man in all of America. He's got an early flight out of here tomorrow morning, back to St. Paul to begin the selection process. So obviously, you're hoping for no more overtime tonight.
We've had enough overtime. That's right.
Tell me about the selection process. Now, who's involved and some of the criteria involved?
Right. It's a committee of 4. And I happen to have the nice task of being chairman of that committee. Jackie Parker, who's a coach of Boston University, is a member of the committee. Jack Gregory, who is director of athletics at Bowling Green. And we also have Rick Comley, who is the athletic director and hockey coach at Northern Michigan. So the 4 of us will be meeting in St. Paul. We hope to get there mid-morning. Direct flight from Boston to St. Paul, and we'll go to work, and it'll take most of the day to put it together.
About some of the criteria, strength of schedule, record, what else is involved?
Well, there's the first criteria is 1 loss. And, you know, as exciting as these tournament games are, that's exactly what they are. They are a game that then is factored into your 1-loss record. And then strength of schedule, which is factored in on your opponent's winning percentage and your opponent's winning percentage, taken approximately equal. And then if those 2 criteria are more or less even, then we go to the additional criteria of then head-to-head. And how each teams have fared against each other head-to-head, and then how they have done against the other teams that are under consideration.
Is there a desire on the part of the committee to have balance in terms of east-west, something like that, 6 teams from one side, 6 teams from the other side of the country?
Yes, there is. And what we try and do is have 6 Eastern teams and 6 Western teams, and then what complicates our life is that the independent, we must select 1 independent to be one of the 12, and then the 4 tournament champions are automatic qualification. And if you have upsets, then you can have some very interesting discussions in terms of how the at-large are then selected.
Let's talk about some of the upsets and some of the selections and some of the teams on the bubble. Perhaps the Cornell Big Red, the preseason favorite here in the ECAC, got knocked off by St. Lawrence. Where might they stand by tomorrow morning?
Well, how close and yet so far. You know, you have an overtime loss, and that puts our program right on the bubble, if not off the bubble. We're clinging by a thread. But you can take Cornell would be on the bubble, Providence College would be on the bubble, and I'm just looking at the Eastern situation, and then out west you might have teams like Fair State, Western Michigan would be on the bubble, Wisconsin might be on the bubble, and also as you evaluate the situation, if St. Lawrence, for example, were to win the ECAC Championship tonight in the game right now, that's a 4-4 tie. Then they are an automatic qualification, and then Clarkson obviously would be under strong consideration.
So a tremendous amount of importance in this final game tonight in the hockey, or rather in the ECAC.
Yeah, you know, you crank up the computer and just about on every goal that is scored here in this exciting contest, which is a 4-4 hockey game, and every time there's a goal, you think, well, there's scenario number 1 out the window, and then St. Lawrence comes back and ties it up again, and then you see another scenario developing. So we're having an interesting evening here.
All right, Lang Kennedy, thanks for joining us. A tough day ahead for you. Tom Larson, get that computer out. Start working up some of the combinations. We'll throw it back to you in the studio.
Well, it's an interesting set of circumstances for sure as we go into the final 20 minutes of play. A game that was once 3-0 Clarkson, but is now 4-4 tied. Clarkson and St. Lawrence at the end of 2. Third period coming up. We have some highlights for you after this.
the fun and excitement of big shot bowling. Each week we'll take you to the Londonderry Bowling Center in New Hampshire as host Bob Foraker brings you another outstanding matchup of the region's top players. So tune in and see the pins fly on Big Shot Bowling Tuesday at 5:30 right here on your New England Sports Network. Tune in to Nesson each week and get an informative look inside one of America's fastest growing sports on College Hockey USA. Join host Jim Rich as he brings you a complete and comprehensive look at the week's action in NCAA Division I collegiate hockey. We'll get a preview of the top games on tap, how the teams line up, and the effect on conference and national standings. We'll showcase the stars of the game with offensive and defensive players of the week. You get it all on College Hockey USA every week right here on Nesson.
Back in the first period, you may recall, there was a time when Clarkson had themselves a 3-0 lead. There was probably some reason at the time to think that maybe, just maybe, one of these games in Hockey Fest 91 could turn out to be your normal run-of-the-mill kind of a hockey game. And then the Larrys got a late one in the first period, and in the second period made it clear this was going to be just like all of the others. Andy Pritchard, who had scored the Larrys' goal in the first period, got their first one of the second, a power play. That makes it a one-goal game, and here we go again in Hockey Fest 91.
Eric Lacroix, bumped by Sanderson, still controls. Eric Lacroix finds Chris Lamb with a shot. Roll goes the center, score! Wells on the rebound.
From 3 down, the skating Saints back even. But it's been said nothing lasts forever. Good look at Clarkson's fourth of the night. Hugo Belanger again, 4-3. By the end of the period, all tied up at 4.
Michael Gall keeping it in. Janison getting it out in front. Teddy Dent scores!
Tied again at 4-4. And in the conversation with Lang Kennedy, you get the impression the NCAA possibilities for these two teams and others in the ECAC are many and varied. ECAC title to be decided possibly in the next 20 minutes if tradition holds, somewhat longer. We'll be back in a moment, and our coverage of Hockey Fest 91 continues live on Nesson.
In making an artistic statement, one's personal aroma shouldn't do the talking. So I use Right Guard Sports Stick with maximum protection. A true artiste should be known for inspiration, not perspiration. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Winter is winding down, and it's just about that time of year.
Ball is racked deep toward left field, and that is out of here for a home run for Tim Derrick.
Nesson brings you all the action as the Red Sox get into shape for the 91 season. March the 19th, Nesson will kick off the first of 15 live exhibition games when the Red Sox tangle with the Detroit Tigers. Nesson, your ticket to Red Sox baseball.
March is Super Sports Month on Nesson. Thursday, March 14th at 7:30, the Boston Bruins host their longtime nemesis, the Montreal Canadiens, in a battle for Adams Division supremacy. Whenever the Bruins and Canadiens collide, it's fast, it's furious, it's NHL hockey at its best. The Bruins and Canadiens in their final regular season Adams Division showdown on the 14th of March. Super Sports Month on Nesson.
The Pac-10, Big 8, Metro, and Southwest Conferences begin a barrage that'll last all season on Prime Network. College basketball.
Over 140 games this season on Nesson.
It's a hockey game that started out 3-0 Clarkson and then went to 3-3, 4-3, now is 4-4 at the end of 2 periods of play. It was 3-1 Clarkson at the end of the first period, and St. Lawrence came back to score 2 to tie it. Pritchard, who had scored the first St. Lawrence goal back in the first period, made it 3-2, 10:50 of the second period. Martin Lacroix tied the game at 3-3 for the Larrys. That was at 12:19 before Clarkson scored at 13:50 to go back in front briefly, and then Teddy Dent for St. Lawrence at 18:30 of the second period. So we are tied at 4-4 and heading now to the third period. See what kind of improbabilities the Bobs have to call now in the final 20 minutes of regulation. Bob Kurtz, Bob Norton, live from Boston Garden.
Well, Tom, the improbability is probable. It's a tough hockey game, very competitive, and these two teams are going right down the wire. We've got two goals here to show you. They're just about as pretty a power play goal as you can see. Watch right here. Setting up the triangle, LaPerriere out at the point, Lapham over here, and way over at the side here is Pritchard. There they have outmanned underneath. 4 men underneath with LaPerriere out at the top. Now they're going to try, fake the shot, get the puck inside to Lapham. Now they want to try to find a crease right here in the defense to get that puck over here to Pritchard and get the defense to react in this way. Get them to shift over this way and then pass the puck to Pritchard. Now let's see what happens. Clarkson's defense shifts, create a hole. Pritchard one-time it, bang, right through the middle. Outnumbered underneath, 4 against 2, and they find a crease to make the pass. This one's pretty too. What a beautiful goal by Hugo Belanger. Dave Trombley down the side. Same thing, find a crease, pass it over to Mark Green. Mark Green, slip it inside to Hugo Belanger, tip it right by the goaltender. Don't find him any prettier than those two, Robert. Hugo Belanger, his 25th of the season, his 10th power play goal. Andy Pritchard's first one we saw was his 14th power play goal, his 29th goal this season.
Clarkson band beating the drum, 4-4 hockey game as we head to the third period. This is the 6th game of Hockey Fest 91, wrapping up the weekend. We've already had 3 overtimes, including the overtime in a Hockey East Championship, where BU won it. Let's check some of the other scores around the country. This is the WCHA semifinals getting underway today at the St. Paul Civic Center in St. Paul. Host school Minnesota winning 3-2 over Wisconsin. And then Northern Michigan, as expected, beats North Dakota 8-4. So the Gophers and Northern Michigan, the top 2 teams. Northern Michigan finishing first, Minnesota second, and they will battle it out the WCHA Championship tomorrow night. Here we are battling it out for the ECAC Championship, and again, BU won the Hockey East crown earlier 4-3 over Maine. This one tied 4-4 as we head to the third.
Whenever you think you have a tough coaching job, you can always think you'd be the head coach of Minnesota. You know, if you don't win the national championship, you haven't really had a good year. Tough to be there. Does a great job, too.
And Doug Woog, and of course the Wooger has a thing back in his own backyard again this year, which I think puts more pressure on the team.
Well, it's a pressure cooker anyway, the University of Minnesota. It's a very, very difficult place to coach because it's expected that you're going to be there at NCAA national championship time, and anything less than that is sort of a disappointment. And that's sort of the box that Maine gets themselves in. You know, they've come so close. They've been the bridesmaids so many times, and there's such great expectations. It's really a downer when you don't make it. And even though you have a great season, you don't reach those goals of Hockey East Championship and then get distance to the NCAAs. It almost depletes the season.
Lapham gets it knocked back out to center. LaPerriere will cover up back in his own zone. Just underway here, third period. Chris Lapham, Aniel LaPerriere back out to center again. Mike Lapham finds Andy Pritchard. Pritchard goes to work against Ed Henrich. Drops it back, picked off there by Trombley. Trombley for Dave Krutowicz. And here come the Clarkson Golden Knights. Krutowicz dumping it in. After it behind the net, LaPerriere dumping for Pritchard in the corner. Andy Pritchard. The goals in the hockey game, moving it out, lost it to Belanger all alone. He scores. The red light is on. We had to wait. Couldn't see the puck over the line. The red light is on back behind the goaltender, Kuntar, and Kuntar is going to argue. He is really going to argue. They are pounding the glass back behind the net. But the red light is on. And Belanger will have the hat trick in the game. His 24th, his 25th, and now his 26 goals of the season.
It's just a real bad turnover. Inside, watch what happens. Belanger with the goal. Puck bobbled, doesn't have control. Finally loses it. See, he carried it with his glove across the goal line. That's what the goal judge saw. His glove reached back and he carried it across the goal line. Watch right here. See if we can see it better from this angle. Shots up, has it on the chest, gets in the glove. Right here, carries it across the goal. There, you see the puck right inside. The puck was right inside the goal line, left side of the cage. I'll tell you, Kuntar knows where it is. That's no argument at all there, kid.
Yeah, it's the referee's decision whether to blow the whistle and say it was dead, but the puck definitely, all the goal judge decide, does it cross the red line or doesn't it?
Yeah, but, you know, he's back there making the goal judge look bad. You know, screaming at the goal judge, pounding on the window. He knows he pulled that puck out from about 6 inches inside the line. I mean, he reached back in there in the net to pull it out. That's ridiculous.
5-4 the score. Belanger picks up the goal. Scott Thomas now for Clarkson, getting it back across the line. Carville getting it back out to center ice. Trudowitz. Belanger unassisted at 43 seconds. Thomas a heavy hit that time on McCourt. Thomas moving it along the boards. Mike Castleman dropping off for Guy Sanderson. Picking it at center ice, dead, but picking it off Castleman, who ran into Martin Lacroix. Back comes Castleman along with Scott Thomas. Castleman plays it to the corner. Back out to center. Chased down now by Tabby. Tabby back in his own zone. Ball pass. Mark Green. Here comes Green cutting in against Chris Lappin. Green goes down back behind the goal. Dubinsky tried to roll it back in front. Dubinsky dropping it right past Doris and ends all the way down the ice. Rogel's long pass for Green broke it up at center. As we are approaching the 2-minute mark here of the third period, 5-4 the score in favor of Clarkson. And whistle down on the offside as tonight's broadcast comes your way from the Boston Garden.
St. Patrick's Day is your lucky day during Sullivan Tire's St. Patrick's Day tire sale. Buy 3 quality Goodyear Arriva radials at the regular price and get the 4th Arriva free. Then register to win a trip for 2 to Ireland from WBZ Radio. Fly Aer Lingus with 7 days at the Hotel Conrad Dublin. No purchase necessary. Licensed drivers 18 years or older. Registration ends March 16th at every Sullivan Tire and Jordan Marsh Car Care location.
Just a real bad turnover right there by St. Lawrence. Belanger, wrong guy to give the puck to there. Now watch how far he brings his puck out. The puck rolls back. He knows where he's bringing that thing out. He's bringing that thing out from about 7 or 8 inches outside inside the goal crease.
Doesn't fool our man Skippy up
Skippy
there.
had a great shot at that, but you know, it's just not right to get on there and try to make the goal judge look bad on that kind of play. That was in, and it was in by about a half a foot.
Belanger, hat trick, 26 goals now of the year. 43 seconds the time of the goal, and it's 5-4 Clarkson. Trying to win the ECAC Championship. First time they will have done so here at the Boston Garden. LePerriere shot tipped and knocked away by Rogel. Entering pass was broken up. Massoud had it knocked off his stick. Sabo tried to clear. LePerriere trying to keep it in and does. Michael Elaine battling for it. Joe Massoud tried to roll it back in front. Albert spun around. Gall keeping it in. Dorson ends, moving it over now. Javi chopping it back out to center, and back after it now, LePerriere. Adiel LePerriere back behind Les Kuntar, coming out with a pass across ice. Moving back out to center, falling down Michael Gall right in front of the Clarkson bench. Chris Wells comes up with it and plays it deep into the Clarkson zone. Trudowitz goes back behind the net. Hugo Belanger. Belanger out at center ice, losing it to Wells. And Wells will play it back in, stopped by Rogel. Trudowitz. Here comes Jeff Torrey now at center. Torrey gets it across the line, broken up by Giason. Jim Giason laying it back out to center. Trudowitz will play that ahead off the stick there at Trombley. Ted Beatty in front of the St. Lawrence bench. Sylvain Lapointe getting it off now for Jeff Torrey. Torrey goes back behind the goal. Belanger back out for Trombley at center. Trombley out at center ice, spins around. Off for Lapointe. Lapointe across the line to Belanger. Lapointe laying it back behind the net. Belanger and Eric Lacroix. Ted Beatty joins the fray. Gall slaps it around the board. Hobby will chase it back at his own line. Off for Craig Conroy. We passed the 4-minute mark here of the third period. 5-4 for Clarkson. Big hit that time by Scott Thomas. now. Here's Conroy. Castleman. Michael Gall watched by Conroy. Up with it, Scott Thomas. Thomas back for Dorsenance. Moves it over for Tommy. Out comes Carville now to center. Greg Carville to center ice. Getting it across the Clarkson line. And Craig Conroy now for the Golden Knights. Here comes Conroy. Conroy and Scott Thomas. Joined by Dorsenance. Thomas comes in after it. Thomas battling Mike Lappin. Was knocked down by Chris Lappin. And we'll take a break as tonight's broadcast comes your way from the Garden.
The new 652 tax by CCM. Unmatched power. Total control. Awesome response. 652 tax by CCM. Turn on the power.
Lacroix asked the referee what he did. He said, what did I do? Keep your eye on number 9. 9's Lacroix.
That might do it.
Slash. That's what the call was, slash. He was wheeling at the puck. Referee called it a slash.
Clarkson on the power play. They're 3 for 5. This is number 6. Telling you last night what a good power play they have, and they've really unleashed it tonight against St. Lawrence. Andy Pritchard on his knees dumps it down the ice. Back after it now, Tredowitz will charge out of the Clarkson zone. Looks a pass too far for Tremblay. Chris Lappin will corral it. Off for Mike Lappin, and then dump back out to Pritchard at center. Knocked away by Tredowitz, off for Belanger. Mike Otavi. Playing it now for Dave Tremblay. A minute 30 to go in the Clarkson power play. Here comes Tredowitz. Tredowitz carrying in deep, dropping it back. Here's Tommy, takes a shot. Puntar knocked that away. Chris Lappin lost it now to Mark Green. Back behind the goal. Mark Green rolled it in front, fired wide by Tredowitz. Hugo Belanger. Belanger working it along the boards. Tredowitz does a nice job to keep it in. Belanger finding Green, fires wide with Conley cruising down the left side. Here's Tommy a shot, and that's gloved by Kuntar, who will hold on.
Boy, they did a nice job working that puck around. Tredowitz a great play at the point to keep it in, and Belanger nifty down the sideboards to control it. You can see why they play as well as they do on power play. Here's Belanger from the point, right inside. Well, that's a nifty pass to Green. Green fires wide as he came out on the forehand. Tredowitz made a nice play just before that to keep the puck in at the point.
57 seconds left in the penalty time to Martin Lacroix. Conroy now going against Michael Lane on the draw. Conroy up front along with Scott Thomas and Mike Castleman. Henrich getting it over now for Scott Thomas. Thomas meandering towards the goal, cut off by Lane, who stayed with him. Here's Henrich, the freshman, moving it over to Tremblay. Back for Scott Thomas, a shot, and Kuntar makes a save.
Well, that was nice movement of the puck from Henrich to Tremblay to Scott Thomas. We've had some beautiful movement of the puck by both teams on power play. Tremblay on the right point, Henrich's on the left point. Now watch what they do here. Henrich to the left side, over to Tremblay on the right side. Now inside, quickly, bang with the shot. Well, it's great puck movement as they zip it around. One-time passing and one-time shooting. We've seen a bunch of those. Beautiful play.
Here's Henrich taking the shot, which was deflected to the corner. Conroy comes up with it, back on the point. Over for Tremblay, a shot. That hit traffic in front, and Lee Albert will clear the zone. 25 seconds left in Lacroix's penalty.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that I can see. We haven't seen Clarkson in a while, but, well, when they're good on power play, they really zip it around. They don't hold it. They don't overcarry. They just move the thing around.
Here comes Castleman, a shot. Kuntar, another save. Getting peppered pretty good this time, being short-handed.
Well, they're 3 out of 5 coming into this one, and they have moved the puck smartly on the power play every time. Mike Castleman down the right side. Shoots it off that front foot. Sort of like a power shot. They got a power shot off the front foot. Weight off the front foot. not real, what the goaltender looks at is real shooting position. You try to just sneak that wrist shot when your weight's off the front foot. Surprise the goaltender, a little snapshot from that position.
Babo in the corner. Chris Lappin takes it back behind the goal. Lappin now charging down the right side, heading it all the way down the ice. Rogels will stop back behind the goal. We're approaching the 7-minute mark here in the period. Back in full strength is St. Lawrence as Lacroix has returned. 5-4 for the Golden Knights. Kozak dumping it in. Huntar will stop it back behind the goal. Off for Lappin. Dubinsky beaten there by Giason. Giason cuts in, whips the backhander line. Sylvain Lapointe. Chris Wells back behind the net. Dubinsky stays with him. Wells drops it back. Chris Lappin keeps it in. Off now for Chris Wells. Wells faked the shot. Dubinsky went down. Back in front of the net, but Dubinsky will cover up. Dubinsky covering up with Sabo 33 and beating it down the ice as Lappin now will go back behind the goal. Lappin handing it off for LePerrier. LePerrier playing it back out to center. Knocked in by Lacroix. Played now by Tabby. Off for Torrey. Past Cromley. Picking it up in center and wrapping it in was Ted Beatty. Martin Dorson ends, clearing around the boards. We've passed the 8-minute mark here in the third period. 5-4 Clarkson. Out comes Jeff Torrey to center. He'll clear it to the St. Lawrence zone. Beatty steers along the boards. Tabby can't keep it in. Back comes Gall. Gall now gains the line, cutting in. Michael Gall goes to the left corner. Tabby held his position. Gall slid along the line. Tried to beat him on the short side, but Rogels held fourth in the goal, sealed the pipe. Gall popping it off now for Ted Beatty. Beatty will play it back into the Clarkson zone. Mark Lacroix, Eric Lacroix, rather hit by Dorson in. And Rogels will hold on and will get a face-off. As tonight's broadcast comes your way from the Boston Garden.
Shine a light on you, shine a light on me. Keep your Bud Light shining for everyone to see.
When you're looking good, you want Bud Light. The clean, fresh taste won't fill you up and never let you down.
You can taste it, you can feel it. You know you've got it right. 'Cause everything else is just a light. Just keep your Bud Light shining. Everything else is just a light. You got to shine on. Everything else is just a light.
Michael Gall, a freshman out of Laval, Quebec. Boy, that's a nifty move right there as he goes by Martin Dorson. It comes in on the forehand. Just tries to stuff it by the goaltender, Chris Rogels. Like he hit the post.
Rogels didn't give him anything.
Not at all. Nice move, though, by Dorson.
Got Thomas now out at center. Thomas will dump it in wide of the goal. Spencer Meany crashing there with Castleman. Back in the Clarkson end. Pritchard back with Sanderson. Thomas joins the fray. Pritchard comes out with it, put it through the crease. There's a drive by Lappin that got too high, and Castleman will clear the zone.
Clarkson's got to be careful that they don't sit on this lead at this point. 10:30 remaining in the game. These two teams too evenly matched, too competitively close to sit on a lead. And right here in the last minute or so, St. Lawrence a little bit more momentum, getting a few more chances. A lot of time left.
And Clarkson sort of settling in.
Yeah, just sort of hanging in a little bit.
Mark Green with an excellent chance. Huntar has to make a save there. Meany is all over Scott Thomas.
That's a little better right there. Take advantage of the chances that you have and go to the net hard offensively. It seems as if for a time here in the last minute or so they've been sitting back a little too much.
This pursued all the way down the ice, and that'll be an icing call. We have passed the 10-minute mark here in the third period. 9:51 remaining in, dare we say, regulation, with Clarkson up on top 5-4 over St. Lawrence.
Well, that was a worthwhile try because Massoud was clear across the red line. Long home run pass. Almost hit him. Mark Green, boy, he's had a great tournament. Comes hard to the net. Has a great stop right there by goaltender Kuntar as Scott Thomas came through with a nice little backhand shot. We take a look at the St. Lawrence bench. Clarkson bench. Mark Morris rejuvenating the troops.
Trying to win here in the Garden.
Never won here. They've never won the ECAC CCT.
Lane brings it in. Massoud was already across the line offside. Clarkson trying to end 25 years of frustration. Joe Marsh would like to see the frustration continue. He's won here.
Sure did. He had
back titles.
Great team a couple of years ago. Went to the finals in the NCAA. Lost to Lake Superior State.
And that was at the old Boston Arena. The last year the tournament was there. So they're 0 for 24 as far as the Garden's concerned. Short goes back behind the goal. 9:30 to go in regulation. 5 for Clarkson, 4 for St. Lawrence. Great games here at the Garden as part of Hockey Fest 91. 1 2-goal games. Everything else has been decided by 1, including 3 in overtime. Michael Elaine. I just drop it back in front, crashing into the net and crashing into the goaltender. Albert getting up, and we'll take a break as tonight's broadcast comes your way from the Boston Garden.
You don't have to pay trumped-up hotel prices in New York anymore. Chatwal Hotels. A touch of home at a comfortable price. On the west side, the Best Western Woodward and the President. Midtown, the Quality Inn Midtown, and the Master Host Chatwal Inn on 45th Street. Gramercy, the Red Carpet Chatwal Inn on Park Avenue. Herald Square, the Aberdeen. And at JFK Airport, the Kennedy Inn. Rates start at only $75 daily. Chatwal Hotels. 1-800-826-4667. 1-800-826-4667.
Michael Elaine going hard down the left side. Takes a look, sees Lee Albert down the right side. Just makes that cross-ice pass. Albert beat back check by Diorsonets, and Albert goes into the net, not Diorsonets, by Trenowitz. Trenowitz just disrupted him enough that he wasn't able to convert the pass and knocks the net off its moorings.
Diorsonets in the corner, working it up now for Torrey. Gall trying to keep it in there for St. Lawrence. And back out to center ice. This will be Chris Lappin. He passed the 11-minute mark here of the third period. Brought back in by Teddy Dent offside. He wanted to shoot that thing.
He sure did. But he knew what would happen. It would have been automatically to the penalty box. Teddy Dent has one tonight. Scored the goal that tied the game at 18:30. Hugo Belanger, that was in the second period. Hugo Belanger, a hat-trick goal, 26th in the season, unassisted. Made the game 5-4 at 43 seconds of the third period.
Chris Lappin out at center ice will roll it in now to the Clarkson zone.
Offside again. That was offside by about 30 feet.
Faceoff back out to center ice. 8:43 remaining in regulation. Clarkson is outshot. St. Lawrence on the night, 26-21. They have 7 here in the third period. 2-3 for St. Lawrence.
There's a thin line between sitting on the lead and doing up offensively and keeping up the other guy's end enough so you don't lose momentum in the period. Clarkson seems to have stabilized that tendency they had in a couple of minutes here in this period to sort of sit back too much. You know, the thing I can most compare it to is the prevent defense in football. The only thing I think it prevents sometimes is you winning the game.
Here's Gall inside the line. A shot that deflected, went wide to the corner. Diorsonets clears it high off the glass, and then it ricochets back into the crowd.
You know, one of the key points when you see a team do that is when you see them start taking early on in the game, not in the last couple of minutes. When you see them start taking with 8 or 9 minutes to go in the game, a lot of icing calls. That means they're becoming hesitant to make the first short pass, and they just flip the puck out of the zone. You get control, you panic, and you flip the puck out of the zone without taking any time to make a short pass. And much too early in the game, you start taking 8 face-offs in your own end.
There's a good chance that time by Lacroix. He is stopped by the goaltender Rogels. Martin Lacroix.
Well, the Lacroix brothers out of Rosemere, Quebec, and Governor Dummer Academy have been tough hockey players, and Martin Lacroix is going for number 16 or number 17 right here. Gets the puck nicely, going to get it right in the slot and give and go. Back again, Lacroix one times it. Rogels with the stop. Martin Lacroix has a goal tonight already. He had the goal to tie the game for St. Lawrence in the second period at 12-19.
Face-off will go to the right of Rogels.
He got cheated on the size. Eric 6'2", 205, and Martin, the junior, Eric's a freshman, is 5'11", 165.
Greg Conroy goes to the corner. Conroy clearing along the boards. Eric Lacroix dropping it back. Ted Beatty hit the side of the net with it. Michael Gall. Conroy going to work there. Tabby trying to take it free. Spins it along the boards. Castleman trying to get it past Beatty. Just get it outside the line, and does back out to center ice. Here comes Scott Thomas trying to handle the bouncing puck. Mike McCourt trying to come out. Conroy stops him. Castleman whacks it back in deep. Beatty back down towards the Clarkson net. And that'll be an icing with 7:28 to go. Both teams look a little tired here. Bill Marsh back behind the bench there for St. Lawrence. Mark Morris, his counterpart for Clarkson. Both had, particularly St. Lawrence had a tough game last night. Clarkson threw a blanket over Harvard.
Well, it became a tough game late when Vukovic scored the goal late in the third period. They were able to pull the goalie out and have a shot at it, but just felt that Clarkson was in pretty good control of that game most of the time. Yours truly almost called it a little too soon and choked on my prediction, but still was a pretty good game by them.
Perrier back behind the goal, steering it along the boards. Mark Green centering pass, broken up by Mike Lappin. The great thing if you're Clarkson, if you can keep the puck down at this end of the ice, you don't have to worry about the lead.
That's right.
Perrier moving it back out. Here comes Spencer Meany charging down the right wing. Mike Lappin after it, broken up by Steve Dubinsky. Mark Green now back out to center. Taken away by Meany. Now Mike Lappin comes back. Lappin dropping it off, getting the pass back again. Mike Lappin fires, and a save by Rogels. But Perrier keeping it in. Richard plays it, but it comes back outside the line.
Boy, that was a great back check by Meany. He just took the puck away and set up a 3-on-2 chance heading toward the Clarkson goal. Beautiful play.
Spencer Meany again playing it back. Perrier not at the point. He'll have to chase it back in the St. Lawrence zone. The Perrier coming out with 6:25 to play in the hockey game. Back out to center ice. Tremblay knocked it back in. LePerriere bringing it back out to center. Here comes Lee Albert at the line. Albert moving it across the line, and Massoud is offside.
Hockey Fest 91 has been brought to you in part by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. By Right Guard Sports Stick from Gillette. Anything less would be uncivilized. And by Mercedes-Benz, engineered like no other car in the world.
Boston Garden on a Sunday night, 6:13 remaining in the championship game. Clarkson on top 5-4.
Is it Sunday night? I've lost track. Is it? This has been fun.
Great weekend of hockey. Hockey Fest 91. First year these two leagues have put it together as far as holding their championship. Same site, same weekend. They tried it last year. Again, there was the measles epidemic at Maine.
Another one off the face-off. Chance right here for Clarkson. You can't let the center break off the face-off. And those who've been watching all weekend long have learned that rule by now. I want to take time when we get a second to say something about the folks. Well, we can take it right now when it's in center ice. Big thanks to Kathy Walsh and Joe Britannia, Assistant Commissioners of Hockey East and ECAC, for all their help. What a snap right there by Rogels. Shot by Elaine, top of the face-off circle, and he really cherry-picked that one. You know, Elaine, for a freshman fourth-line centerman, has been a factor in a whole bunch of plays over the weekend. Michael Elaine from the top of the circle. That looked nice. But Kathy Walsh has just been so cooperative all year long. And Joe Britannia from the ECAC this weekend, extraordinarily cooperative and thorough. All the sports information directors, but particularly those two folks in organizing this whole thing, tickets and meals and for all the teams and accommodations and all the things they did for us. We thank them.
5:58 to go, at least in the regulation portion. We've had 3 overtimes in Hockey Fest already. Clarkson right now has a 1-goal lead in lane. Conroy back behind the goal. Played it up along the boards. Up and back out to center ice, and here's Lee Albert. Broken up by Craig Conroy. Conroy at center. Michael Gall playing it back to center ice again. Tabby lapping it back in the St. Lawrence zone. Stopped by Kuntar. Left there now as Gall charges out for the Larrys. Back out here, Lee Albert at center. Scott Thomas breaking it up. Thomas goes across the line. Dumps it back in the St. Lawrence zone. Michael Gall back to play it. Gall coming out. Has now at center ice for Chris Wells. Wells charging down the left side. Takes a shot that will deflect back into the crowd. 5:09 to go.
I was just noticing something here. Probably should have noticed it before. St. Lawrence only has 1 senior out here. Kuntar, the goaltender, but only 1 senior in the forward lines in defense. Pritchard. Lappin's a junior. Meany's a freshman on the first line. Lacroix, junior. Carville, a sophomore. Lacroix, a freshman on the second line. Giason, a sophomore. Dent, a junior. And Wells, a junior on the third line. Albert, Elaine, freshman on the fourth line with Massoud, a sophomore. LaPerriere, junior. Lappin, a junior on defense. McCourt, a freshman. Beatty, a sophomore on defense. Roderick, a sophomore. And Gall, a freshman on defense.
Well, they lose.
And Kuntar and Pritchard. Boy, what a young team Joe Marsh has.
Perriere's shot was blocked that time by Kozak. Back out to center again. Chris Lappin will crank it right back in.
Play this well with that kind of youth. But Pritchard's a loss, and Kuntar, that's the core of the team. Your goaltender and your great left winger with 29 goals on the season.
Played back in again by Giason. 4:40 remains in regulation. Rogels tried to steer it out. Lappin tried to keep it in. Chris Lappin does keep it in. Feeds it on goal. Saved by Rogels. And then he covers up on the rebound. And the big traffic jam out in front of the face-off coming to the left of that Clarkson goal.
Well, it was important to cover up in front because Wells was coming toward the front of the net. Lappin from the top of the circle with the shot. And watch what happens here because Wells, 7, just saw him in your picture, is going to head right to the net. Puck out front, sweep it in with the stick and keep it away from Wells.
Face off to the left of Rogels. 4:33 remaining. No upsets, really, as you look around the country in the tournaments. Lake Superior, the #1 seed, won the CCHA tournament. The top 2 seeds, Northern Michigan and Minnesota, play for the WCHA title tomorrow night. BU won the Hockey East Championship. They were the 3rd seed, but the 2nd seed in the tournament. But again, the top 3 teams in Hockey East, it's hard to choose between.
You're hard-pressed to call them an underdog, I'll tell you. Jack would like to think he's an underdog.
Clarkson, the #1 seed, and St. Lawrence, the #3 seed, playing here for the ECAC crown. Rogels rather had to kick that one away. Dorson ends, moving it out to center ice. Corey dumps it to the line. Chris Lappin breaks it up. Back out to center again. Belanger moving it over now for Tremblay. Tremblay cutting into the corner. Pushing and shoving there, but Carvel will come out with it. Getting it back out for Chris Lappin on the right wing.
I'll tell you, Hugo Belanger works real hard on defense. He comes back hard. He showed me why they like him so much up at Clarkson tonight. You see him right back there, back check on Carvel all the way. He looked as soon as there was transition and St. Lawrence had the puck. He immediately looked outside and had Carvel all the way from the red line all the way into the front of the net. You see a guy that is scoring as much as he has and has done such a great job offensively, play like that defensively. You got yourself a pretty good player. Hugo Belanger, and not much last night, but he's been a show tonight.
4 minutes, 4 seconds remaining in regulation. The difference in the game. Then goal at the 43-second mark. Belanger unassisted, taking the puck away from Andy Pritchard and moving in and beating Les Kantar, who got a piece of it. Fell behind the red line. Kantar gathered it in, pulled it outside the red line, but the red light went on. Kantar banged on the glass, all to no avail. It's still a 5-4 hockey game now for Clarkson with 3:45 to go. There's Pritchard getting it across the line. Sanderson breaks it up for Clarkson. Back out to center. Beatty without a stick. Battling Thomas. Mike McCourt working it back out. Tabby at center ice. So Tabby. Greg Conroy. Finally, Clarkson will have to go back at it. They'll send Sanderson in deep. Castleman just wants to clear the zone. And does, getting it back out to center ice. Into the St. Lawrence zone. Chris Lappin back behind the goal as we approach the 17-minute mark here of the third period. Mark Green broke it up. Kozak brings it back in. Mike Kozak back for Mark Green and escapes. Green goes back behind the goal. Green tried to roll it back out in front. That was broken up. And a hand pass is called, and we'll get a stoppage of play with 2:52 remaining in regulation.
After a sloppy spot about the midway through the period, Clarkson, since that time, I think, has done an excellent job of playing with the one-goal lead. They haven't sat on the puck. They've taken advantage of offensive chances. St. Lawrence has had some good chances, but it's been a hockey game, and you can't say that St. Lawrence chances have come out of Clarkson sitting back. They've been playing hockey and taking the offense when they get it.
Off the face-off, won by Clarkson. Dubinsky battling for it, poking it along the boards. Lappin and Kozak have it tied up. Dubinsky back behind the net. Kantar knocked that one away. Chris Lappin, 2.5 minutes remaining in regulation. 5 for Clarkson, 4 for St. Lawrence. Too far for Massoud. And waved the icing off. Rogels clears it along the boards. And Lane bothered there by Dubinsky. Rogels out to knock it away. And coming down the right side, Mike Kozak, 2-on-1 with Mark Green. Green shot knocked away by Kantar as we're approaching now the 18-minute mark here of the final period. We'll keep an eye on Kantar for you. See what he has pulled as the Larrys will go for the extra second. Orson ends. Over now for Ed Henrich. Henrich having difficulty getting out. Mark Green will lend a hand and take it back behind the goal.